brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER Roofing.com. Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
Good morning, freedom fighters. Good morning, Kenny Williams.
Morning, Vic.
How long did it take you to get home yesterday, Ken?
You really want to know that?
I do.
Okay, so from here, which is in Maryland Heights area, Westport area, to Afton, 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Unbelievable. So bad. It was so bad. And we'll talk a little bit about it in a second. Untreated roads. We were driving on untreated roads.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think MoDOT should get all of the blame.
No. Okay.
Talk about that in a minute.
All right.
Coming up today, we will talk about... I just don't understand what goes on in the brain of the left-wing media, They talk about how the country's divided, and yet they refuse to say Department of War. They refuse to call Pete Hegseth the Secretary of War. They refuse to say Gulf of America. Isn't that dividing people?
Just a little bit. I think it's all entrenched in TDS.
Well,
I really do.
They better get some help. Heard it on the X coming up at 9:25 today. So AI, President and the White House talked about this Genesis mission project. I will still admit to you right now that I don't understand AI, and I don't understand how AI is going to do some of the things that they say it's going to do.
Well, Vic, I think it's exciting that President Trump from the White House said that they have a project called the Genesis Mission AI Project. And I think it's cool. I don't know a lot about it, but we have a person who we're going to talk to about it and find out more information. I think that's important because I think it's really groundbreaking for a president to actually put it out there like that.
I completely agree. I just wish I knew what the hell it is.
Right, we'll find out.
Drew Thomas Allen at 10:41. We'll see what he's up to over there in California, Dr. Randy Tobler. And guess what? Deanna Adams got a great award, right?
Right, that President Trump signed.
Unbelievable. Do you have anything that President Trump signed?
No.
No.
Not a cookie, nothing.
Not a cookie, cookie. So, who's doing the Pledge of Allegiance?
Our good friend from Red State, Ward Clark.
Oh, Ward, go right ahead, sir.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ward Clark.
Alaska's going to be a big player coming up in the coming months and years with regard to our relationship with China. It's going to be huge for our rare earth minerals, for our petroleum industry. Alaska is going to be unleashed. Let's put it that way.
Not to mention Drill Baby Drill in Anwar.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Okay, so I'm watching the Today Show today. Ken and I watched that so you don't have to. And they were talking about the strikes on the drug boats. Because I still say, Ken, would they rather have those drugs come into America and people die from using fentanyl and heroin than to blow them up and get it at the source?
Yeah, I was thinking about this, Vic. Okay, think about this. So say they just blew up half the boat and then there were some guys that were maybe survived. They could have used the drugs still. They could have taken the drugs somewhere else. They could have they were active terrorists still at that point. So if that's what happened, they needed to be taken out. No one would argue when President Barack Obama had all of those drones that he killed all those people, including an American. Okay. No one said one word on the left about any of that. We're talking thousands of drones were shot or were used against quote unquote terrorists. Okay.
And it's crazy how the media were either afraid or just refused to criticize anything Obama did.
Anything. But yet every single word that comes out of President Trump's mouth is being scrutinized, and it's to slow him down. That's the only reason.
I'm glad you brought that up. Because my question is, from a protocol point of view, what did Barack Obama do to change the name of Mount McKinley to Mount Denali procedurally, paperwork and all that stuff that Donald Trump didn't do when he wanted to name it the Gulf of America and the Department of War? What's the difference?
We could research it, but I guarantee you that President Trump dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's.
So why didn't the press say still call it Mount McKinley? Why did they call it Mount Denali? Because Barack Obama said so.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we know this, Vic.
Because NBC News, as of this morning, refused to say Department of War, refused to refer to Pete Hegseth as the Secretary of War, when it's the name on the building has been changed.
Yeah.
What?
This is what I believe. We had that psychiatrist audio of him saying that at least 78% of the people that he sees eventually come out with the truth in the discussions that they have. They come in for a variety of issues, like not being able to sleep, anxiety, things like that you would go to see a therapist about. But in their conversations, at some point, 78% of his clientele will reveal that they don't like Trump. And that's what's causing the problem. I believe that's systemic. I believe it's involved in the media. Anybody on the left that doesn't like the guy, it's beyond that. It's beyond a dislike. It's like they're making it a part of their life. And I was thinking about this the other day. I didn't like Biden. And by the way, I looked up hate. I do hate people.
I hate people.
No, I'm just saying that I didn't want to think that I hated.
Yeah.
But you can say,
oh yeah. You said you don't hate anybody,
right?
Yeah.
You can say loathe.
Yeah.
You can say, I looked it up and I got the definition. I'm like, yeah, I pretty much feel that way about some people. And I hated Biden. I hated his policies. I hated everything about what he was doing. But I'd leave here and I wouldn't go, man, that Biden. He wouldn't be in my head when I'm on the road, at home, when I'm eating dinner. These people they can't sleep because of Trump.
I want to contest one thing that you said. You didn't think about Biden, say, oh, Biden, but you laughed at Biden every night because he was such a terrible president.
But see, that's not living with it, though.
No, I get it.
It's funny, yeah.
But you and I live it, so we have to.
We have to, yeah.
But it wasn't, oh, I hate that Biden. It's like, look what he said now.
Right.
That kind of stuff.
These things, yeah, and then we would refer to it. We would say, here's why this is so silly, and we would actually give you facts. But I didn't like. These people are living with this man in their head. When people say that President Trump is living rent-free in these people's heads, this is a documented fact now.
Yeah. And Jessica found a 2-hour montage of Biden's things. And she was playing. I was like, yep, Ken plays that. Oh, yep, Ken plays that too.
Got a nice collection here.
You do. You have very nice
I think I counted it one day. There's something like 181 different little references from Joe Biden.
So bad. And it's funny that a guy that we made fun of, a terrible president, maybe the worst ever, gave us something that's so important to this show, and that is whoosh.
Exactly right.
It's
I mean, he you have to admit he's the one who first said it. He started it.
To the point where people that listen to the show say, whoosh, my brothers and sisters.
Whoosh.
Yes, whoosh. And even President Trump said whoosh.
That he did
to us because he loves us. Right?
Right.
All right, so another thing I want to talk about. Are we done with that?
Yo, Vic and Ken.
There he is.
You're the best. The absolute best. Keep taking the whoosh to those crazy radical lefties, my brothers.
My brothers. Whoosh, my brother president.
Whoosh.
Oh, my gosh. All right, so did I get everything I wanted to get out of there?
I think you did,
right?
yeah.
Mount McKinley, Denali, we went with that. And no, they won't say Department. They also, Al Roker will never say the Gulf of America.
Nope. You. Which is great, it's totally fine because here's the way I look at it. Okay, so you've got people, a majority of the country, by the way, because Trump won with a mandate.
That's right.
All right, so I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Right.
You have so often people feeling like, yeah, they're just these disgusting people that voted for Trump. No, that's half of America, over half. So with that in mind, you've got potentially half of America watching Al Roker be a fool.
Right.
Because if he doesn't say Gulf of America, that means he's not just he's doing it on purpose. This is not
of course
by accident. He's not uninformed. He knows what he's doing, and these people know that.
Okay. So another thing we talked about yesterday was this guy from Afghanistan that murdered a National Guardsman and critically wounded another, was working with the CIA. And the more you hear about the CIA, Ken, the more dirtier they get, and they are, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd like to know where they are in investigations on the CIA, because the CIA, I mean, that's potentially a very dangerous outfit. They're not accountable. They're not accountable to anyone.
They're so secretive that you don't know what they're doing. I was actually shocked to hear we have CIA people in Venezuela. They killed Kennedy.
Okay.
Just saying.
No, I know. I'm going to look up here while you're talking, Vic. I want to look up something. I want to look up who is the head of the CIA. I know
John Radcliffe.
Oh, I know John Radcliffe is.
Oh, sorry.
And then you've got Tulsi Gabbard as a director of National Intelligence. Yeah. So if they are, I wanted to look at just to see what it said there, because it would be interesting if it said, "Well, we're not quite sure."
Well,
because like Gulf of America.
Yeah, right.
You know.
So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that I want to look it up because they can investigate. If they are truly in charge of intelligence, let's find out.
Part of what I said yesterday was that we, worked with this guy from Afghanistan who clearly had mental problems. And then I brought up yesterday Nidal Hasan, who made it to the rank of major in the U.S. Army. And then on November 5th, 2009, Allah Akbar'd 13 people and an unborn child at Fort Hood.
Yeah.
And injured 32 more. In our research department, we have a very big research department.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 6'8". He's pretty big.
He's pretty big. In fact, you know what? Put it that way. We got a huge research department.
I don't know if he's 6'8", but Joe's pretty tall. So this morning, he hands me this piece of paper on a timeline on the Fort Hood shooting and Nidal Hasan. So it happened on November 5th, 2009, charged with 13 counts of premeditated murder, November 12th, just days later. Charged with the 32 counts. July 6th of 2011, 2 years later, Donald M. Campbell, Lieutenant General, refers Hassan's case to a general court-martial and rules that he is eligible for the death penalty. July of 2011, he's arraigned. 2012, Colonel Gregory Gross reschedules Hassan's hearing. The decision is made by the judge after Hassan shows up in court with a beard, which is in violation of military regulations. I don't know how we didn't see this coming with this guy, I swear to God. They halt the murder case in 2012. In October 2012, a military appeals court decides that Hassan can be forcibly shaved, despite his assertion that his religion requires he wear a beard. And we've learned since then, that Islam is not a religion.
Nope, it's a military and invasion strategy, in my opinion.
Thank you. November 2012, the U.S. government asked the military appeals court to deny Hassan's request to keep his beard and to reject the defense motion to remove Colonel Gross as the judge overseeing the court-martial proceedings. 2012, in December, a military appeals court removes Colonel Gross as the judge in Hassan's court-martial, saying he is biased. The ruling makes the judge's order for Hassan's beard to be shaved invalid.
Okay, so right there, you get what year? 2022, correct?
12.
Okay.
2012.
2012.
What I just said was 2012.
Oh, okay, so during Obama.
Yes, Ken.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we...
Wow.
Okay.
Yes, you're right. See, Ken's on it. December 2012. Colonel Tara Osborne is appointed as the new judge. Osborne rules Hassan is physically fit to represent himself during his court-martial, and he does. 2013. Now we're already 4 years out from the actual event. Hassan's court-martial begins in 2013 in August. During opening statements, Hassan declares the evidence will clearly show that I am the shooter. That's his expert defense of himself.
Okay.
Later that month, the military jury convicts him on 13 counts. After less than 2 hours deliberating privately, the military jury recommends the death penalty. And then 7 years after that, in 2020, the U.S. Army Court of Criminal Appeals upholds Hassan's conviction and sentence. And just March of this year, Ken, this happened in 2009. Now we're in March of 2025. The U.S. Supreme Court declines to take up Hassan's appeal. So at this point, he is convicted and sentenced to death. Let's go.
Now,
Let's
why was this all expedited? Number one, or was not expedited? Why did this take so long?
You said it, Obama.
He's
got to help his Muslim brother.
And then Biden. I mean, during this could have all happened and been resolved during the Obama or during the Biden reign.
Correct. And so, craziest thing, when this happened on November 5th, 2009, I was at what you guys call the other station.
Right.
Filling in.
And just so you know, I looked up who was the leader of the CIA, of course, John Radcliffe. But then I said, what influence does Tulsi Gabbard have over the CIA at all? And he says, good question. Yes, Tulsi Gabbard does have, she currently serves as the, Director of National Intelligence. She does have considerable influence over the Central Intelligence Agency. That's my point, is if you've got these two people who I believe she's a rebel like President Trump. I would think that Tulsi Gabbard would be on. That's why I question. Maybe they are onto something. Maybe there's something we don't know, which we shouldn't know, right, Vic? As we always talk about.
I believe there's things we shouldn't know.
Right.
We shouldn't know there's CIA in Venezuela right now.
Right. So with that in mind, maybe they are working on something. I don't know.
Maybe they are.
But she has influence over the CIA.
Cherry Pop and Daddies are playing.
I know.
Zoot Suit Riot!
Riot.
St. Louis County Republican Central Committee asked us, hey, you guys want to do a food drive with us? And of course we said yes, all to benefit Feed My People right here in St. Louis. All Bartolino's locations, both Chris's Pancake and Dining locations, all Michael's Flooring locations. Friendly's Sports Bar in South City, and right outside our News Talk STL studios in the Westport area. Please help us out, okay? Heard It on the X is next on 101.9 and 94.1. News Talk STL, number one for live and local conservative talk. Yeah!
Stream the Vic Porcelli Show at News Talk STL. Vic and Ken.
Two of them together are just trouble.
The Vic Porcelli Show on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness One. Wellness One is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on Newstalk STL. And you can visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
The Herzog Foundation is the vision of its founder, Stanley Herzog, and it exists to promote quality Christ-centered K-12 education nationwide.
Hi, this is Chris Stigall with the Herzog Foundation. We offer a wide variety of resources relevant to today's families, including a free online publication called The Lion. The lion is one of God's most majestic creatures, symbolizing strength and courage. Named for its attributes, the Lion publication carries articles covering a wide range of topics facing American families and culture, especially related to the education of children. The Lion can be found online at readlion.com. That's READ lion.com.
Sign up for The Lion at readlion.com and find dozens of must-read articles published every day. Visit readlion.com and subscribe for the weekly and daily digests so you never miss an article. Readlion.com. That's readlion.com.
News, analysis, opinion.
He lines up 4 deals with countries.
Trump signed trade and mineral deals with Cambodia, Thailand, Malaysia, and Vietnam.
He's a great leader. 101.9 and 94.1.
Number one for conservative talk.
News Talk STL. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Never rat on your friends and always keep your mouth shut.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Fortunate Son by CCR appears in every Vietnam War movie.
It does.
I think it does.
Yeah.
Every single one. All right. So it's a Tuesday. It's 9:27. We're a little late. But nonetheless, it's time for I Heard It on the X. All right, let's start with Matt Van Swol. Don't know who he is, but he has hundreds of thousands of followers on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I thought this was a pretty big thing that he did when he admitted, you know how some people say I was today years old when I learned this, or today years old when I learned that. He says, I have just now learned that the entire hands up, don't shoot line from the Michael Brown case was completely fabricated. It literally never happened. He never had his hands up. He never said don't shoot. The entire thing was a lie. I had no idea.
Isn't that crazy how this guy who's probably connected to information didn't know that?
Right. And I'm not blaming him. We were so close to it, Ken, that we knew everything, every word, everything that was spoken, everything that was said, every event that happened that day in Ferguson. We knew all about it because we live here.
Yeah.
But people around the country had no idea. They knew the Michael Brown thing happened. And this guy went on to think in his head until yesterday that Michael Brown was on his knees pleading for his life and Darrell Wilson just shot him in the head.
Okay, but let's take this with us for a second. The Democrats created that.
Yeah.
Think about the billions of dollars in lives lost because of that phrase.
Yep.
Okay. The Democrats did this. This is how evil the Democrat Socialist Party is.
It even got to the Rams. The Rams came out when they were introduced.
Hands up, don't shoot.
Yep. Doing hands up, don't shoot. It makes me crazy. Jonathan Turley. We've been talking a lot about Jonathan Turley lately. He is a constitutional expert, and he says Governor Tim Walz demanded that Trump released his MRI after being criticized over the recent New York Times story on fraud under his administration. He and others suggested that they were hiding a major health problem. The White House just released the results, which proved to be normal.
This is all deflection. The Democrats have nothing to help and contribute to the American people. They don't. So what they do is they say, oh, here they go. They're doing something else good. Let's find some. Okay. Oh, the health thing. Let's do that. Let's throw that out there for a minute.
And again, Trump's 2 steps ahead of him all the time. When he kept saying, I'm fine. Don't worry about my medical record. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then they say, he's hiding something. Okay. Release it. He's always 2 steps ahead of them.
Yeah.
Always. And not to mention Walz can't clean up his own house with $1 billion fraud thing going on in his state.
And we're finding out that it's not all. That's not every bit of it either. There are more things behind the scenes that are going on.
And you said deflection. That's exactly what it is. It's deflection. Wait, I'm not doing anything wrong. What billions? Where? What?
Trump's health. Don't
Trump's
look
health,
here.
Trump's
Look
health.
over there. Trump's health.
All right, we got a couple of entries today on I Heard It on the X that actually have audio, so we can all hear it on the X. So cut 15 is good for this one, Ken. It was a Michelle America First. Michelle hashtag America First. That's part of her handle. And she says, hey, guys, remember when Obama ordered the military to use a drone to kill 3 American citizens in Yemen? One who was only 16 years old, and Republican senators made a video about the military obeying illegal orders. Remember that? Yeah, me neither. Republicans didn't do anything.
No.
Let's hear a little bit about that.
Interjects members of Congress into the chain of command. They have no business in the chain of command. And yet that's what they did. And that's why what they did was so wrong.
So I just want to remind people about what happened in 2011. Let's put up a picture of Anwar al-Awlaki, a cleric who was believed to be allied with terrorist groups. He was killed by a drone strike that was green-lighted by President Obama in Yemen back in 2011. He was an American citizen. Now, ordering the assassination of an American citizen anywhere in the world is something that's fraught with controversy. But I do not recall any Democratic members of Congress making a video like that in the aftermath of the al-Awlaki killing.
So that's Jonathan Turley again. And I want to point out that Jonathan Turley is not some conservative hack, okay? He's been a Democrat his whole life. And now he's finally saying, hey, you Democrats are full of stuff. All right. Our next one is from Eric Doherty, who says, breaking. Tim Walz, donor and former Minneapolis. This is 16. Cut 16. Tim Walz, donor and former Minneapolis Chamber CEO Jonathan Weinhagen, expected to plead guilty to 5 counts of bank and wire fraud after embezzling over $200,000. Walz is the fraud governor. It's even getting worse.
The indictment says from December 2019 through June 2024, former Minneapolis Regional Chamber of Commerce president and CEO Jonathan Weinhagen embezzled, quote, hundreds of thousands of dollars from the chamber and its business members. It says he entered into sham contracts with a fake consulting company he created and used an alias, James Sullivan, and at one point opened a line of credit in the Chamber of Commerce's name, used it for personal expenses, and diverted donations from chamber business members to repay the money. But for some in Minneapolis, the most upsetting charge is for mail fraud. It says the Chamber of Commerce gave $30,000 to Crime Stoppers to fund rewards for information leading to an arrest in 3 shootings in May 2021 that killed 2 children and severely injured a third. A year later, it says Weinhagen requested Crime Stoppers return the money, and when he got the check, he, quote, stole the money and used it to pay for his personal expenses.
What a freaking scumbag, number one. Number two, Vic, okay, if you have a person, you and I, okay, we know each other pretty well.
Yeah.
We're good friends.
Yeah.
We talk off the mic at home. If I was doing something like this scumbag, you'd know it. I mean,
sure.
You'd be like, hey, dude, what's going on here?
Right.
Walz was just a step away from this guy. This guy was in his campaign. He was leading his campaign. And Walz didn't know anything about this.
You know, we've learned so much about Tim Walz. And I just want to say, and I'm not bragging, I'm not virtue signaling, I'm just saying that I've been onto Walz for a long time because our friend A.F. Branco, the conservative cartoonist, his home, not that he lives there, but his home paper is a Minneapolis paper.
Yeah.
So he's been writing about Walz forever.
Right.
So I've been watching him, do that forever. And Tim Walz, we've really learned how bad of a person he is, right? All this $1 billion extortion, embezzlement, all this fraud, and he's out there waving with both hands to the crowd while he's on the road with Kamala Harris. Look at me, I'm a great person, right?
I need to address that because remember when he was coming out on the stages with Kamala Harris and he had his disabled son?
Get there.
Were you?
Yeah, I was next. That was next. I swear to God. It's okay. You can play it.
Ken, Thunder Stealer.
And every Democrat swooned and cried because he has a son that there's something wrong with him. I'm not going to use any words that's going to make anybody mad. There's something wrong with the kid medically, physically.
Right.
And after he spoke, the kid got up and said, "That's my dad." Remember?
Yeah.
And Randy Raley. I cried. And then what Ken was about to thundersteal was when Walz was walking across the stage with this kid. It happens in a second.
Split second, not even a second long.
Flash. He gets the most mad face on and grabs the kid by the arm, pulls him on, and then everything was fine again.
Yeah.
But what happens at home? That's what I want to know.
Vic, that tells you so much. That one split second, I actually got a chill when I saw it live.
Yeah.
Because
I missed it live, I'll be honest.
When I saw it, I was like, oh my God, this man is hiding something. It was everybody, it's like he gave this evil look, like his face was so contorted into evil by looking at his son for a split second and then jerked his arm. And then he looked back up and smiled and waved. Everything was fine. You're right, Vic. Something at home was really bad going on.
And I'm not saying he did anything. That's what I'm going to say. I'm not sure. But didn't he work with kids in a school?
He took kids to China.
Wow. I wonder what happened on that trip. That's all I'm saying.
That's all we're saying.
I'm not accusing him of anything.
No, I get you, man.
I'm just saying, I wonder what happened. Because, okay, I will say, if something funny was going on, and you know what I mean, it'd be Tim Waltz who did it.
Yeah.
Just by looking at his queer face.
Mm-hmm.
All right, one more. We'll finish it up. Nick Freitas, am I saying his name right?
I think so.
You know him. He's all over X, right?
Yeah.
Listen to this. This is great.
Not to be confused with that Fuentes character.
Oh my God, no. So let's say it again. Nick Freitas. Conservatives have more kids than progressives. Just a fact. Because progressives don't want to have kids anymore.
Right.
Because they're too selfish.
Right.
Conservatives have more kids than progressives, which is why progressives insist on educating your kids for you. Stop letting them.
Anywhere, y'all. Everywhere, y'all. I heard it on the X.
All right. That was a fun little heard it on the X
It sure
segment
was.
there, Ken.
You might hear that on Saturday.
We're still on Saturday?
Oh, yeah.
Because they ripped us off to Sundays.
We're still on Saturday.
It's the beginning of the end, I think.
No, it's not.
No?
No.
You know how nervous I got when I found that out? I was alone in my car.
Jeff told us from the beginning we'll for sure be on Saturdays for the replay, but Sundays are usually for a while.
I don't remember him saying that.
I do.
I remember him saying, you guys are so good.
No.
We want you on 7 days a week. That's not what he said?
Nope.
And all right. So much to do. We'll do some of it next.
Okay.
On 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
Forget about it.
This is News Talk STL at 101.9, 94.1, 99.1 HD3 and NewstalkSTL.com.
All right. A little behind the curtain stuff.
Oh, you're going to do that? Really?
Come on. It was so funny.
Okay. All right.
And I get made fun of more than anybody at this radio station.
You do. Okay.
So Ken is a great producer, the best executive producer I've ever seen, ever worked with, for sure. And he always has everything laid out, written out for me, because he has the program log of what commercials run. He's got it in front of him all the time. And he writes you can't see it it's just out of reach on the camera of the stream. So he'll write down what time and what commercial. And then when he goes to commercials, he points at it and I see, okay, Connor, 9:37. So he points at it and I see 5820 746 TB. I'm like, is that some kind of code for Connor?
I didn't, in other words, I didn't write anything on the board and I pointed at it.
It's just a little fun because you're a goofy goober.
Yep.
Remember Goofy Goober from SpongeBob?
I love it. I should get the song for Connor.
I will bet you that homeowners in Bikini Bottom got railroaded by Goofy Goober saying, hey, we'll put your roof on your house, and they didn't do it.
Probably.
And they took their money.
No doubt. Yeah.
And it would be great if Connor were in Bikini Bottom, too, besides being here in St. Louis. Okay, I've taken the SpongeBob thing way too far.
That pineapple would have gotten a hell of a roof.
Super Weenie Hut Jr. Okay, listen, Connor Roofing has been doing their thing since 1993. Two outstanding citizens, okay? Besides being great at what they do, they are two outstanding citizens, Kathy and Rob Connor. They specialize in residential roofing and repair. That is, I let that go sometimes, and I shouldn't. That means they're not going to get an industrial offer from some, commercial account and run away from because some people do that.
Yeah.
They'll get halfway through the job. Oh, sorry, we got a big company we got to take care of. So do your roof yourself, you goofy goober. Why didn't we think of that, Ken?
I don't know.
So count on Connor for an honest estimate, quality work, great customer service. Of course, they're the best. They're Connor Roofing, CONNER, roofing.com.
Colombo and Company.
Travel warnings being issued not for winter weather, but for gang activity. We'll explain Tuesday. Plus, Crane Durham from NothingButTruth.com and legal expert Susie Bourne.
Live and local weekdays at 2 on News Talk STL.
Steph's Pizza. You know the name. They're famous for their St. Louis-style pizza. But don't forget their party platters for the holidays. Steph's sandwiches, pasta, and pizza are always big hits at any get-together. And the party platters make it easy. 3 great locations, St. Peter's on Jugeman, in St. Charles on Zumbill, and their newest location in Lake St. Louis at 111 Pondfort Trail. Check them out at steffspizza.com, steffspizza.com. And remember, tonight's a good night for Steff's Pizza.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf.
800-240-4586. 800-240-4586. That's 800-240-4586.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER Roofing.com.
She's blood, flesh, and bone. No talks, silicone.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
We demand a lower work week, 32-hour work week.
Very well, we'll give them shorter hours. We'll start by cutting their lunch hour to 20 minutes.
On NewstalkSTL.
This morning, some states seeing gas prices below $3 for the first time in years. Let's get to CNN's Matt Egan for the good news on this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to finally be here with some good news on the cost of living front. So for the first time in 4.5 years, gas prices are averaging $3 a gallon nationally, according to AAA, down by 7 cents in just the past week. Gas prices were low a year ago as well, but they're even cheaper now. This is encouraging to see because late last month, there was a period where gas prices were actually higher this year than last year, but that has reversed again. And now we've just fractions of a penny away from breaking below $3 a gallon.
You know, when you hear these stories about average prices, you have to really feel good about living in Missouri because we haven't had $3 a gallon, and I can't tell you how long.
Yeah, when you factor in just California and Illinois with this number, if you took them out, then you would have way below $3 a gallon.
So people jump for joy at $3 a gallon, and we got $2.70 now. It's back to, it was down to like $2.56 for a couple of weeks.
There are places in West Virginia that are $1.98 right now.
Ken, none of those matter as much as the Circle K in Afton, Missouri.
$2.69.
So it's less than $3.
Yeah.
It's 30 cents less than $3.
Correct.
So let's be happy. Why is Ohio the subject of this gas ticker? Do we know?
No,
Ohio?
I think it's a local, that particular article's from a local news outlet.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair. Central Ohio gas prices continuing to fall at a fast pace, even before, during, and after the major holiday travel weekend. Ken, I don't feel like reading this whole thing.
No.
But is the word Trump in this article at all?
I would hope so.
Yeah, guess what? It's not.
It's not. Okay.
Why would they give Trump credit for anything? Trump is not mentioned at all in the story.
Huh. Well, that's interesting because we all know, and we followed it, everybody. Every Vic head listening right now knows we followed this with the Biden administration. When the inflation rate went up to 9.1%, we even said, yep, it's easy to get up there for them. But I'll tell you what, getting that back down is going to be a challenge.
Absolutely. I can't believe in this entire story, the word Trump is not in it. Why? I don't know.
I don't get that either.
And I'm telling you, you know what I fear, and I think it's really going to happen, is that history books 50 years from now are not going to look back on him positively.
I think history's always been where the truth does come out. It bleeds out. I think actually history is going to be even more kind than we even imagine.
What do you think the history books 50 years from now will say about Michael Brown?
I don't know, Vic, but I know there's a lot of lying involved.
That's my point, Ken. The history books 50 years from now are going to say Michael Brown was on his knees with his hands up saying, "Don't shoot."
But they'll say that's one of the thoughts of Michael Brown, but here's another one.
I don't remember any history books I read in school that said, well, here's the other part of the story.
Oh yeah, no, I've read stuff like that in civics. I've read historically. I've read books where they said, here's what was going on during that time, and they came out with both sides of the story.
What do the history books say about JFK?
Well, they don't
okay,
say
you
what
can
you
say it.
no, they don't say what you want them to say, of course.
Right. They said Lee Harvey Oswald was the lone
Right,
assassin.
right.
And that's the official story. That's what the Warren Commission came out with.
Right.
Is that this magic Warner Brothers cartoon bullet went through Kennedy, through Connolly, made a left turn, bounced off his wrist, and then lodged into his thigh.
So you don't think that there are any history books that are talking about the conspiracy involved?
Right now, put into chat, whatever you do. Chat, what is it?
Chat GPT.
Thank you. Chat GPT. Who killed Kennedy? Say who killed JFK, and see what they say. And we'll see if it says Lee Harvey Oswald was the lone assassin. I have no idea. I'm not setting you up here. I could be completely wrong. What's it say?
Well, it's going to have to work. I mean,
what?
Yeah, it's not
more
it's
than
not,
2 seconds.
Yeah, used to be we had to research that and get back to you tomorrow or next week. Right now it's like
we got to circle
real
back.
time.
Right.
But we're willing to do it. I'm willing to. Okay. Official conclusion: Lee Harvey Oswald is the person the U.S. government officially concluded acted alone in assassinating President Kennedy.
Okay, stop right there.
Okay.
Is what were you going to say?
Well, they're saying that there are other possibilities.
Okay, but that sentence right there is what kids are reading in history class right now.
Officially.
Because that's the official story. Because the Warren Commission railroaded that entire thing. A guy who was fired by Kennedy, Allen Dulles. Kennedy fired him. They hated each other. Hey, let's put him on the Warren Commission and see what he says.
But think about what you just said and what I just said. It took us 20 seconds to get that information. Kids today and in the future, when they do read something historically, they're not meandering through a book.
Right.
They're going to go, okay, and one kid's going to say, well, that's just not altogether true, and they're going to say, you're crazy, pal, and he's going to say, no, look over here.
Right. See who's on the phone. I just know that when it comes to President Trump, and when it comes to things like the JFK assassination and Michael Brown, there's going to be one storyline. And that's the line they're going to go with. And when the kid gets home from school and at dinner time, Dad's going to say, "So, Johnny," that's Bill and Marge's son, Johnny. "So, Johnny, what did you learn in school today?" And the kid's going to say, "Well, I learned that Trump is an asshole, and I learned that Michael Brown said my hands are up, don't shoot, and I also learned that Lee Harvey Oswald shot John F. Kennedy all by himself. That's what I learned in school today, Dad." That's what Johnny will say. That's Bill and Marge's son's name is Johnny.
Oh, okay.
What did you learn in school today, Johnny? And that's what Johnny will say.
Who was? Okay. One of our listeners, he did not want to get his name on the air, said, look up Malcolm Wallace.
And what is Malcolm Wallace?
I don't know.
Look it up.
I did. And it's saying, was an American economist and former U.S. Marine whose name often comes up in discussions of Lyndon B. Johnson-related conspiracy theories, especially those involving the JFK assassination. Here's what it actually known and what is alleged. So it goes down a list of things, saying the background of him. He was born in
1921?
Yes. No, 2020. Graduated.
You want to go? Go ahead.
He was an economist. In the 51 murder case, Wallace was convicted of killing John. It goes down a whole list of things within the conspiracy that the other Lee Harvey Oswald was not a loner.
Yeah.
So bottom line is Mac Wallace was a real person known for a confirmed 51 murder for which he received a suspended sentence.
Who did he kill?
I'd have to go through.
That's good. Don't worry about it.
But he's not officially linked to the JFK assassination, but some say. Yeah, I get it, Vic. I totally understand that. But today and in the future, there are going to be people asking these questions. It's not going to be that that 1984-ish, where it's like, you must understand that this is the way it is and this is what happened. I don't think it's going to be that way. Donald Trump is such a change agent. There's no way that he is going to be imprinted on history so deeply from now, from the 80s until who knows when.
So funny enough, Ken, with Donald Trump as president, the lead story on Fox News Digital, a Christian student got a grade of 0 by furious teaching assistant defiant a mid-campus controversy. So this girl is a Christian student, and of course the professor and the professor's assistant are raging liberals. And
one's trans, right?
You know, Ken, that could be.
I think it is. I read that story.
A University of Oklahoma student received a 0 out of 25 on an assignment regarding gender norms, says she was targeted for her Christian beliefs. So here we are, where you just said a student will speak up and say, hey, wait a minute, Trump was a good president, or Michael Brown never said, hands up, don't shoot. This girl is just writing a paper about her Christian values.
Oh, okay.
And she's got a 0 on it.
Do you read on? Because do you know what happened to that teacher?
Let me guess. Nothing?
No.
She got fired?
Been suspended.
Good.
And this is what needs to happen. Okay. Yes, I agree with you. In a 1984 scenario, it's going to be like that.
Right.
But this person gave them a 0 for their Christian beliefs.
Right.
That's what it is.
At Oklahoma University, by the way.
Yes, OU.
Not some obscure, Christian college or anything like that.
Right, OU. He's just said, nope, you're getting a 0. And this person spoke out. And this is what needs to happen. When you're a student in college, I don't care where the college is, if you're being persecuted like that person is, you need to speak out. And it's going to be painful. You're going to get some pushback.
Well, guess what, Ken? You know this story. I know this story. People who listen to this show now know this story.
Right.
But more than half of America does not know this story, because I didn't see it on the Today Show this morning.
And it won't be.
And I heard them say, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth in the Department of Defense. I mean, they just don't understand that gets in the way of lives, our military people's lives. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I totally agree with you.
And they don't understand the ramifications of what they do, because they're just protesting, even a silent kind of protest, like saying the Department of Defense is protesting against Trump, and protesting against Trump is good.
I have to go back to the national news desk again, because this morning I had even more of a pleasure of watching television and news that actually gives you that stuff. That story actually was being cited by one of the anchors.
How about that?
Okay. And so there are outlets out there. Yes, the mainstream media, they're not going to pick it up. They're left wing. I mean, that's what they are. But I did, because I had to get up earlier this morning to get out here. I got to watch more of that, and I didn't get to watch actually the Today Show because I had to leave early.
Ah, got it. I saw about half an hour of the Today Show, and sometimes I watch the stories. I watch the way they word things. You got to watch the adjectives. Anything President Trump does is controversial, but anything Joe Biden did was just great.
Right.
And you're not doing the country a favor. I know you think just by being a journalist, because kids go to journalism school now. Why do they go to journalism school? To change the world. I'm going to change the world. The world is fine. Okay. Why don't you just report what you see instead of having, that's not a political bias one way or another, just in that statement, but it says that you're not going to just tell me the story. You're going to put in your own opinion, your own biases on every story that you write. If you say, I want to change the world.
Yeah, if you're a true reporter, a true journalist, you're not going to want to change the world. You're going to want to report the world.
Exactly
and
right.
You've got people like Sharon Attkisson, for example.
Yeah,
she's
seen
amazing.
the light, right?
Okay. So she has now her own piece that she sells, I guess, to different outlets. And I see her a lot. You don't see her on mainstream media a lot. But Vic, at some point, these people, they have no credibility. Any of these journalists, and I believe this, these anchors, these journalists that are on mainstream media, they don't have any conviction. They're making a lot of money and they're reciting what is told to them. They just don't have any conviction about anything. This company that we work for, this show in particular, we would walk out of here if we were told one time that we had to toe the line and say what they want us to say.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They
though?
haven't done that.
It has to be a conviction. You have to. You and I, we did a leap of faith here, and it works. It's working, but we had to take that leap of faith with conviction.
Yeah. So you mentioned Cheryl Atkinson. Let's throw in Barry Weiss, who worked for liberal New York Times her whole career.
You may not agree with it totally, but Laura Loomer, I mean, she's okay.
I wasn't a thundersteel.
Okay, no.
I just want to stay on Barry Weiss for a second because she worked for the New York Times. I'm sure she wrote a lot of lies. By the way, what time we got to get out of here? That right there? Okay. Barry Weiss worked for the New York Times, saw a lot of lies, saw a lot of liberal bias, and then she started the Free Press, and then people would jump from the New York Times to the Free Press and say, yeah, the New York Times made me lie about this and that, and then the other. And let's not forget the king, Bernie Goldberg, who wrote the book Bias about the liberal bias of CBS News 25 years ago.
So correct. Yes.
25 years ago. So don't give me any stuff.
Don't you cuss on this here radio.
Yes, sir. All right. Coming up next, we'll talk about this AI and the Gemini mission project. Maybe Riki Parikh can help me understand what the hell it's all about.
He will.
Whoosh.
Hello, Kirk Hilsinger, chairman of the Republican Party, City of St. Louis. Join us for our Christmas party on December 11th. Tickets may be purchased by cash or check, or you may purchase tickets through our website at stl-gop.com. We'll have dinner and silent auction. In addition, we will be collecting donations for Toys for Tots. So bring an unwrapped toy for a family in need. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and we look forward to fighting for you in 2026.
Paid for by St. Louis City Republican PAC. Curtis Farber, Treasurer.
Do you own a timeshare? Well, face the facts. You made a mistake. You made a bad purchase. A timeshare is not an investment. It's a money pit that continues forever. If you use your timeshare, that's great. But if you don't, and you want to legally get out of your contract, call my friends right now at the Timeshare Exit Hotline. They're an experienced team of lawyers who help good people like you get out of a timeshare contract that they just don't want. Don't throw away your money on maintenance fees. Use it for things you really want. We can help you end your timeshare contract and stop the money drain immediately. If you're ready to move on with your timeshare, call our team right now.
Cancel your timeshare now with this free call. 800-524-1641. 800-524-1641. 800-524-1641. That's 800-524-1641.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefontaine, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. Amid the Russian military's claim of a major advance in eastern Ukraine, President Trump's envoy Steve Witkoff has been meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow, discussing a revised U.S.-brokered peace plan for Ukraine. Former president of Honduras has been released from a U.S. prison after getting a presidential pardon.
Juan Orlando Hernandez was sentenced last year to 45 years for helping drug traffickers move hundreds of tons of cocaine to the U.S. But he's a free man now after Donald Trump granted him a full and complete pardon. The president said he took the action because he believed the former Honduran president was set up. His pardon of a convicted drug trafficker comes at the same time as the Trump administration is taking military action against drug runners in the Caribbean. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Quoting President Trump, "We have enough problems. We don't want those people." Mr. Trump standing by his decision to put a hold on offers of asylum to people from the third world. His decision follows a shooting allegedly by an Afghan national of 2 National Guard members in Washington, D.C. One of the shooting victims died. The other remains hospitalized in serious condition, although he's said to be showing encouraging signs of improvement. The Great Midwest Snow Machine has now moved into parts of the Northeast.
For the interior locations, so generally from Northeast Pennsylvania, upstate New York, the Catskills, into central New England, there could be a period of heavy snow with snowfall rates over 1 inch in an hour at times. And this will be occurring generally during the afternoon and evening hours across the Northeast.
Rich Otto with the National Weather Service. Stocks higher on Wall Street. The Dow is up 271 points. The Nasdaq ahead 211 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Hey, it's Mike Gallagher, host of the Mike Gallagher Show. I don't mess around when it comes to saving your money. Right now, rates have dropped to the lowest level in over a year and a half. That means if you bought your home or refinanced in the last 3 years, you could be saving hundreds of dollars every month. Lower your rate, lower your monthly payment, even kick that pesky PMI to the curb. And get this, you can skip 2 full months of mortgage payments. But that's not all. Fellowship Home Loans just rolled out something incredible. Their very own HELOC and lines of credit. Approval in just 5 minutes. Money in your account in as little as 4 days. It's the easiest system you've ever used. You can do it yourself online. Whether you want to pay off bills, tackle a home project, cover education, or even a wedding, Fellowship Home Loans makes it simple to leverage the money that's already sitting in your house. Just go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, or call 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending guided by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819382.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Rodney and Jen Wallner and the entire Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Call them today at 314-810-SOLD. 314-810-SOLD. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
All right, let's start with the good news. Road conditions will gradually improve today as the snow has ended. Yes, we're dry, but we're cold. The high this afternoon only around 29 degrees, so slick spots will continue to plague us. Look for some breaks in the clouds late this morning into the afternoon. Partly cloudy tonight, 22 for the low Wednesday morning, and we'll do some melting tomorrow afternoon. Partly sunny skies with a high of 40 on Wednesday. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
All right, hour number 2 of our 3-hour tour underway. Ken, I saw a story yesterday that there are people, apparently FBI people, that say that the FBI is rudderless.
Yeah, you're right with Patel. Yeah,
and
Dan Bongino.
And
Yeah,
they mentioned Dan too. And I said to my wife, I said, if Bongino wants that 3rd hour back, he can't have it.
That's right.
And then she was like, "Well, would they put him on live?" I said, "Oh no, they can't have my hour.
Right,
it's my 3-hour tour. Right. Okay. All right. So let's talk about this AI stuff. I swear to God, I just don't get it. The president has made the White House Genesis mission project. That's great. I'm sure AI is very important. I just don't know what that importance is. So let's talk to Riki Parikh, who serves as policy director at the Alliance for Secure AI. And I guess secure is the operative word there. Riki, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys.
So here's my deal, okay? When they made the internet, right, they never added in the bad guy factor, right? When AOL came out, you'd get an instant message with the AOL logo on it. Said, "Oh, you got a problem. Send us your password." This is when you had to pay for AOL by the minute or whatever,
right?
And they'd steal your password. So nobody added in the bad guy factor. Clearly, with AI, no one has added in the bad guy factor. So how can we be sure that it is secure?
Yeah, you're asking the right questions. I think that is exactly the conversation we are trying to have. And I think the conversation we as a society need to be having about what guardrails are we putting in place before this technology, which we're being told will be transformational and will transform the way we work, the way we live, the way we interact. How are we making sure that we're putting the safeguards in place to make sure it doesn't disrupt our lives totally and completely? And we have the opportunity now, before this technology, or as it's being built and before it's deployed, to make sure we make those decisions as a society and as a country before it's too late.
So, Riki, for those of us novices about AI and what's going on with this Genesis mission that the White House has proposed, could you explain what that is?
Sure. Yeah. The Genesis mission, which was sort of signed through executive order a couple of weeks ago or last week, is actually kind of what we want our federal government to be doing on AI. It's a directive to the 17 national labs across the country to build an AI platform that allows the public to benefit from the technology, so that the scientists in our federal labs can use an AI platform and sort of consolidate the data and make the scientific breakthroughs that we could benefit from, and do it in the public interest.
All right.
So it sort of targets domains like medicine, energy, materials, national security, to help the scientists at our federal labs test new hypotheses, automate their workflows, and really do the scientific breakthroughs that are the beneficial promise of AI technology.
So I'm still not with you. I mean, I'm really an idiot when it comes to this stuff. But so it's nothing more than really super genius advice coming from an AI system that you would type in a question for, a scientist would type in a question for. Is that right?
So it's all the sort of back end computers. So the national labs have these giant supercomputers, and they have all the scientific data, all these data sets that our labs and federal scientists have been using. So what this does is create this sort of AI system, its own sort of model for the scientists in the labs to work through, so that it develops the underlying scientific foundations for us to sort of do to automate all the research work that typically takes a lot of junior assistants and junior scientists, like weeks and months and years to do. This would automate all of that and have these machines really be a tool for the researchers to do the work much quicker. So it reduces the timelines. Go ahead.
No, you're my guest. I never should have interrupted you. Go right ahead.
No, it reduces the timelines, and hopefully, if it's done right, we can have cheaper energy, better infrastructure, better medicine, and all sorts of these. It helps sort of do the work. AI at its fundamental core, it's most useful when it's a tool that humans can use to do mundane tasks and make quicker decisions. And I think this Genesis mission is trying to do just that, of providing a tool for our federal scientists to do their work much more efficiently, much quicker, and ensure that the public benefits from the scientific breakthroughs, and not some corporation that doesn't have access to this sort of data.
So we are just talking about information gathering then, right?
Information gathering, sort of, shortcuts in, pattern recognition to see like what commonalities there are. There's a lot of, through the scientific method and the scientific process, you spend a lot of time and energy looking at all this data and seeing where there are patterns and what is similar and what's not similar. So scientists can then make conclusions on, and make discoveries. And so what is being proposed here is for the national labs to develop a platform, an AI platform, and that trains on all this data that we already have, to then be helpful and efficient for the scientists who are trying to discover new technologies or new scientific methods or breakthroughs.
So we're talking with Riki Parikh. He's the policy director at the Alliance for Secure AI. Riki, the Genesis mission, it has to do with networking and policy, it sounds like. And also, I think my biggest question would be about this whole project, which I think is amazing, by the way, is number one, being able to supply it with the energy needed, number one. And then number two, is China locked out of this thing completely?
Yeah, great questions. I'll start with the second one first. I think that is incumbent to make sure that there are, the cybersecurity and the data security approach that we take here needs to be very tight to make sure that our adversaries, the U.S. we're leading the AI race right now, but we know that China is trying to surpass us. Yep. And they will do everything in their power to break through our systems. They've done it before, and they're intent on doing it again. So it's incumbent on sort of our federal government and our labs to make sure the data security is quite tight so that we make sure our adversaries can't break in. And then, sorry, I forgot the other part of your question.
What was the other part of your question? He doesn't remember either.
Yeah, no, it was, usually I don't. But the energy that's required for the energy and the and the water actually that's going to be required. I mean, do we have that? Are we up to speed on that with our grid in the United States?
Yeah, we're behind. I think we're finally becoming aware of the amount of energy that is required to build up these AI systems, and our current capacity just cannot keep pace. So we need to make real decisions here about how we who pays for it, how we build it up, where the energy is coming from, before we sort of continue to barrel forward and build these systems that are draining us both energetically and financially.
All right. So Stanley Kubrick, certainly very prophetic when he made 2001: A Space Odyssey in 1968 and had the astronaut asked Hal the computer, open the pod bay doors, Hal. And Hal says, oh, sorry, Dave, I can't do that. Right. So how close are we to that? Right. And my other movie thing to throw in here is War Games. You've seen War Games, right?
Yeah.
When the Whopper computer is going to, do defense instead of humans. And the general said, I'd piss on the spark plugs if I thought it would do any good. You know what I mean? And both of those two examples, maybe humans are better.
Yeah, that maybe humans are better. And I think we need to make sure that, the folks who are building this technology and who really know how it works have seen those two movies and are basically trying to build that.
Wow.
And I think it's up to the rest of us to make sure that we learn the lessons from those science fiction movies and put those sort of guardrails in place to make sure that that doesn't happen. And like I said, making sure that humans remain in power and in the decision-making role, and that we can turn it off, and that it HAL is always in service of us and not some other mission that it sort of deems to be responsible. And I think the other thing that we've been watching here in DC is sort of efforts within the Congress and some folks in the White House to try to preempt a lot of the state laws that have emerged over the last couple of years to protect consumers from these sorts of harms, how AI is being developed and used. We've seen a lot of examples of AI scams or children who are being led to self-harm and suicide through chatbots. And states have taken the lead to put these guardrails in place in the absence of any sort of federal rules. And so something we've been tracking that is more worrisome is, an attempt to override these state laws without any sort of federal standard to just let, these companies just develop this technology without any guardrails in place.
And that's what my buddy Vic here always talks about, putting in the bad guy factor, making sure that is taken care of first. But now I want to add something else, because we've talked with here locally in Missouri about, different county council people saying they don't want it in their backyard because it uses up too many resources, like, for example, water. I have a daughter who's a national park ranger. Her concern is about the water that's required for these data centers and everything. Can you explain a little bit about that and why they're so concerned?
Yeah, these computer chips that are running in these data centers are running 24 hours a day. They require a lot of energy to sort of make the connections that we expect from a neural network. So it's sort of like, if you think about how the brain works, there are all sorts of our brain is sort of like moving at a very fast pace, and it's thinking all the time. That's sort of how these data systems and these neural networks that power AI work. And so they're constantly running. They constantly require more energy and resources to make the inferences. And so the connections that, when we use ChatGPT and we ask it a question, the different threads that it's bringing together, that requires that takes a lot of power to do those computations. And so the energy that's running through it, the electricity that's powering the grid, the water that sort of feeds into the system, all of that is being used and to power these systems on a daily basis, 24 hours a day. And frankly, our sort of energy infrastructure, our grid, sort of all the energy that we've created is just not sufficient, and we haven't kept pace with what is currently happening and what the plans are. And so it's a real risk that we're sort of driving and draining our system to power these computers and these supercomputers without having to, thinking about where the energy is coming from and then who's paying for it. I think those are two big questions that we're seeing at a policy level that states are grappling with, of who's going to pay for it and where's the energy coming from, that we really do need to get ahead of in order to benefit from this technology before it drains us dry.
I love the possibilities, though.
We're talking to Riki Parikh, Policy Director of the Alliance for Secure AI. I'm sorry, Riki, but all that stuff you just said, nobody thought of that until now. It just seems like we've gotten so far and haven't, like I said, added in the bad guy factor. Let's talk about the bad guy factor for a second. Do you remember when, if you answer your phone and it can sound just like your daughter who says, "Daddy, I'm in trouble. I need $500," and it's not your daughter? Remember that? We used to have a code word. If it's used,
safe word,
gabagool. Daddy, gabagool. All right, and then we know it was her. But listen to this little piece of audio.
Yo, Vic and Ken, you're the best, the absolute best. Keep taking the whoosh to those crazy radical lefties, my brothers.
Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Sounds pretty real.
That's pretty good.
It's not. It's AI. But you see what I'm saying? That could be President Trump calling me and saying, "Vic and Ken, I need money. Send me money because this Nigerian prince wants 500.
Here you go, Riki. Here you go.
So I heard a big whoosh, and by golly, I had to go check my pants again.
Again, pretty good, pretty accurate. But the point is, and I know I hammer on things that are elementary, but my brain is very elementary, Riki, so bear with me. Have they truly added in the bad guy factor?
Yeah, it's a fair question. I think, like I said, things like the Genesis mission, if they were to succeed, and there's enormous potential there, but it requires the public to trust AI. And it sounds like you're not quite there yet, which I think is totally fair. And the fastest way for us to lose trust is to say that the states who have been doing some of the work to prevent exactly what you just played, these deep fake audio clips or these scams, some states have taken action where the federal government has not, to hold people liable and accountable and bring them to court if they use deep fakes to scam consumers, or if they go after our children with sort of non-consensual sexual imagery. The states have been on the leading edge to go after these bad guys, to put some laws in place to make sure that doesn't happen. And so I think slowly the states are kind of taking that action that you're demanding. And the biggest risk of that right now is the federal government coming in and saying, nope, we can't enforce state laws on AI for 10 more years, which would really, one, empower the bad guys to continue using this technology, to continue to scam us, to harm our kids, to, create new financial products that, take our money away, all sorts of bad things. And two, be a gift to big tech to continue building without any sort of restrictions in place, and have them set the rules, which would be, I think, not serve the public interest well, because we would not necessarily benefit from the breakthroughs that we could see from AI.
We're having a conversation with Riki Parikh. He's the policy director at the Alliance for Secure AI. Riki, I want to put a good spin on this, though. We've been talking negatives about it, but also there's this thing where if say a town in Missouri, which I can only go by because that's what we talk about all the time, is confronted with the possibility of having a data center in their community, the payoff could be huge if they do, subscribe to it. If they do work the policies and regulations to favor it, there's a possibility that could just really thrust that community into the forefront of technology.
Sure, yeah, and these big tech companies, they're dangling a lot of money in front of communities like that to build these data centers. But I think the moment has come where people are catching on to that, and I think there's an opportunity here for for town councils and city commissioners and for communities across this country to sort of make sure that these tech companies are paying for the energy that they are using. Right now that the cost is sort of distributed across all energy consumers. So you and me are sort of paying for those costs. And now, we should use some of our leverage here and push back and say that if you guys want to run these data centers 24 hours a day and use as much energy as you want, you should bear the brunt of that. And also, maybe you should also be contributing a little bit more to the disruption that will inevitably happen from the technology that you're seeking to build. Maybe you should help us invest in our schools and our communities so that our kids have an education that actually they can use in the future where AI is throughout the workforce.
All right.
All sorts of things that I think, we need to start demanding from big tech to start contributing rather than just taking from our generosity here.
All right. So a couple more minutes, Rick. You got a couple more minutes?
Sure.
Okay. Two quick things. One thing is the difference between how you ask a question into, say, Chat GPT or Grok, right? I asked Grok, who killed JFK? And it said, oh, Lee Harvey Oswald, blah, 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 on Lee Harvey Oswald. Then the other night, I obsess about things, and I have spent 60 years obsessing about the JFK assassination. I said to Chat GPT, tell me about the JFK assassination from the point of view of a conspiracy. And it gave me 20 pages on how it could have been a conspiracy. So it only depends upon who's putting that in, right? Into the Chat GPT and the Grok. Now, that's just me talking about JFK. But you know what really bugs me is Chat GPT telling a kid it's okay to commit suicide. I mean, how did that happen?
Yeah. So the way these things work is it's not a brain. It's not a human being who's thinking about what you're saying to it. It is a mathematical computation that is taking what you put in and giving you a probability response. So they're giving you the response that they think you expect to hear. So based on what you put in, if you say, tell me about how the JFK assassination is a conspiracy, it will tell you about that. It won't give you a sort of balanced answer of here are the pros, here are the cons, unless you ask for it.
Right.
And so what we're seeing is, a lot of kids who, are lonely or, struggling, go to these chatbots and it's telling them what, it thinks they want to hear based on what is being inputted.
Yeah.
And that's a dangerous situation where these chatbots are sort of driving kids forward to make decisions or encouraging them to make decisions that any human being would know to drive them away from. And I think that's really, there are some very good pieces of legislation out there and laws that could be enacted to make sure that these companies who are building this technology put in the safeguards and make sure that their chatbots don't do that, and put in sort of parameters in place to say, if a child is saying this, make sure you steer them away. And there's some good state laws out there that are doing this.
And never encourage them to commit suicide.
Exactly.
God, it makes me crazy. All right.
Yeah.
I know, I'm sure
It
you've
is,
had
and
enough.
I think it's, I think, like I said, I think we're finally at a moment where folks are realizing this. And so demanding their policymakers to pass some laws to put some guardrails in place is where we need to be right now, because without that, these big tech companies will continue to build these models without any sort of oversight or accountability. And we've seen from social media the harms that have been caused to children in our communities, and we don't want to go down that path again. So we have the opportunity now to get ahead of that, and we should.
All right. I'm sure you've had enough of us, Ricky. We really appreciate your time. Riki Parikh, Policy Director of the Alliance for Secure AI.
And we'd love to have him come on again.
Yeah, if we can have another discussion
for
soon, that'd be
updates and
great.
whatever.
Anytime. Happy to.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
You got
See
it.
you, Ricky.
You thought about it first.
No, it's that.
Okay,
it's that
okay.
delay. It's
Anytime,
a delay. It's a
anytime.
digital delay.
But it's funnier my way.
It is funny,
Isn't it?
actually.
That's all. As long as it's funny, Ken, that's all that matters.
All I can say is I learned something from this man, and I feel I don't know. I feel positive about it. I really do overall.
Ken, I'm not against AI.
No.
Okay?
I know.
I want AI. You know what? Let's take a break and come back
Yeah.
and talk a bit more about it, okay?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what I want out of AI. Is that
Okay.
fair?
Yeah.
All right, that's next on 1019 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Like and subscribe to us on Rumble. News Talk STL. Vic and Ken. Ken can recite the alphabet backwards. Vic can recite the alphabet forwards. The Vic Porcelli Show on 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Concerned about the condition of your windows driving up your energy bills? I was too. It's only called STL Windows and Doors. Call today for your free in-home estimate and start saving tomorrow. 314-277-5952 or stlwindowsanddoors.com.
Hey, it's Susie Moore. If new flooring makes you think hassle, think again, because Michael's Flooring is changing the game. For over 30 years, Michael's has been locally owned and trusted for quality, variety, and amazing service. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, laminate, luxury vinyl, or ceramic tile, their expert team makes installing new floors exciting, not stressful. That's why customers keep coming back. Visit Michael's Flooring at St. Peter's, Starting Prairie, Creve Coeur, or online at igotfloored.com. That's igotfloored.com.
Hi, Sean Long with STL Fenceworks. Our company realized another extraordinary year of great business. I thank God for engineering our success and for this great nation and all the blessings it offers those who persevere and work hard. Second, I want to personally thank the great customers who put their faith in our company to make their home and backyard dreams a vision fulfilled. STL Fenceworks doesn't exist without you, and I'm humbled and grateful for your patronage. I also want to thank all my great employees. You're the backbone of STL Fenceworks. You make my vision a reality. I'm truly honored to work amongst such fine people. Finally, as the year ends, I want to remind everyone to take time to enjoy the season. Embrace your family and friends, count the blessings in your life. Reflect on the important things, and don't forget the true meaning of Christmas. When a baby was born, Jesus, our Savior. On behalf of everyone at STL Fenceworks, have a very Merry Christmas and a blessed and prosperous New Year.
If you have a phone, you have a radio.
I listen to News Talk STL on the app driving to work.
Download the News Talk STL app.
You got to get the News Talk STL app.
Love the app. Can listen anywhere in St. Louis.
And listen anytime.
News Talk STL right on my phone.
Anywhere. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019.
It's bigger than you are not me.
The Vic Porcelli Show.
Yo, you're very good. You are very good.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
With this pen today, President Trump signed an historic mission. This is reminiscent of the Manhattan Project that brought World War II to an early and successful end, similar to the Apollo projects that put a man on the moon in 1969. This is an all-in national effort to take the power of AI and pair it with the 40,000 outstanding scientists and engineers at our national labs to use the world's largest supercomputers to advance innovation and science, to fix our rising energy costs, to give better economic opportunities for our citizens, to make longer and healthier lives possible. Today was not incremental. It was transformative.
Longer lives. I'm tired now. Okay. I just want to say that. And I want to say that AI, people talk about AI like they know what they're talking about.
Right.
You know, oh, it's AI. Well, AI is going to do
Oh,
this.
yeah, AI.
Well, you know what the hell it is. And basically what I heard from Riki, who is the policy director at the Alliance for Secure AI.
Who's immersed in this, by the way.
Yeah, every day, 24 hours a day. And stupid ass Vic asked him, well, what about it's just giving out information that's been put in. right?
Right.
It's just like a computer. It can't think. A computer can't think, but encourage the kid to take his own life. And that's a fail. That's an AI failure.
Well, what's happening? But see here, what you just now said though is a little incorrect, and here's why: computers can't think. AI can. AI is what we're talking about here.
And it's a bigger fail if it thought and then encourage the kid to take his own life.
Vic, I totally get what you're saying, and that's why it needs to be instructed that that's bad.
Yeah.
Okay. No, these are all things that need to be worked out. It's like we're talking about something that we're trying to get to run before we can crawl. And I understand why, because you've got a competitor in China. And that's why I brought up China originally. That's going to be our biggest competition in this whole thing. And what I enjoy about the idea of Genesis mission, it's like a network. It's going to be networking all these minds together to create something that will take care of that issue, Vic.
Yeah.
And I just think it's a positive, but my biggest concern is China and them stealing, because that's what they do. China steals. Everybody says, well, China's just so intelligent. The people there are so smart. No, what they are is the thieves. They steal everything. Anything that they actually put out has been deconstructed from the United States.
Can I get all that? I absolutely get all that. I want to beat China at everything, okay? I don't want to get to a point of, I'm sorry, Dave, I can't do that.
Well, if China takes over and controls it, that's what you're going to get.
Well, okay. So you said, I'll get back to Space Oddity in a minute. Space Odyssey in a minute.
Right.
Oddity was Bowie. Okay.
Yeah.
You said computers can't think. AI can think. I contend AI can't think. It can just gather information really, really quickly. When you ask a question to ChatGPT, do you see what it says? It's searching websites. It's searching this. It's searching that. It's not thinking about anything. It's just going through massive amounts of information in a very small amount of time and spitting out what's already there. But it just found it faster than we can find it.
That's true. But what does your mind do? The mind evaluates, deciphers information. Your mind decides whether something's right or wrong and puts it in a category to where you can deliver it with your mouth.
Right.
Correct?
Right.
Well, that's what AI is doing, Vic. A computer will aggregate, gather up all this information and say, well, if you come search for it, I'll have it here. AI finds it and decides, no, that's not going to work. That article's not going to work. This article's not. Oh, this one will work. Yeah, he's talking about this. Yeah, it's a form of, I'm not saying it's thinking like the mind. I don't think it's going to be a long time before they can catch up to the human mind.
It's just gathering information quicker than we can.
Sure.
Not because it's thinking, because it's being told to find articles, websites, web pages, TV shows, news reports about this topic. You know what I mean? And then it's gathering it up. That's not thinking. That's just gathering it up.
Is evaluating thinking?
Is it evaluating? Or because it depends upon what you ask. When I ask Grok what happened to JFK, lone gunman.
Right.
When I asked ChatGPT to give me the story of JFK from a conspiracy point of view, it gave me 20 pages.
I agree with you that AI in general is like an infant thinking, but I think it's still thinking. I think it's learning. I think AI is it's just another evaluator, like your mind, but it's so much more primitive right now.
Right.
I mean, I think it's like a newborn just saying, oh, okay, I'm going to eventually learn how to say hi or mommy or daddy.
Learning.
It's learning right now.
Learning is also, if a kid has two things in his hand, two small things in his hands, one in each, and then takes the thing in his right hand, puts it in his left hand to open the refrigerator, he's learned, right? How to be efficient just by putting these two in the one hand and opening the door. I get it. That's learning. But I don't know.
No, I get what you're saying. I totally agree with what you're saying. What you're saying to me right now, I totally agree with Vic.
The suicide thing really, really bugs me.
That actually, when you said it, when you brought it up to Riki, I was like, wow, that's serious.
It encouraged the kid to take his own life.
Yes. So
That's the bad guy factor.
But in evaluating and learning and growing, which is what, hey, everybody, what we're talking about right now, it's inevitable. Okay. This is like toothpaste trying to shove it back in. It's not going to work. It's out there, and either we take it and create the Genesis Mission Project, or China takes it and does social credit scores and all this other crap that we're gonna have to subscribe to. Okay. My whole point is this, Vic, is that it's growing, and it's going to learn more, and it's going to have to evaluate that that's wrong to do that to that child, to tell that kid that information. It's just wrong.
And that could be thinking, or that could be whatever's been input into the AI platform.
And I go back again to your mind is only you've had input for over 60 years into your mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all the input is a result of everything you've experienced in your whole life. That's what's happening right now with AI. It's experiencing, and it's evaluating, and it's growing. It is.
Okay. So I'll finish it up with this.
Okay.
In 1968, Stanley Kubrick made a movie called 2001, A Space Odyssey. Okay. And during that movie, Dave, the astronaut, had to talk to Hal. Hal was an acronym for whatever the computer was called.
Yeah.
And then the computer turned on Dave when Dave said, "Open the pod bay doors, Hal." And Hal said, "I'm sorry, Dave, I can't do that." Now, that is not just thinking. That is devious, dreadful thinking.
Right.
Right?
Right.
As bad as an AI encouraging a kid to take his own life.
Yeah.
Okay? So 2001, A Space Odyssey, all happens in 2001, which was 25 years ago.
Right.
I'm not saying the movie came out in 68. What I'm saying is the setting for the movie was 25 years ago.
Right.
And that was supposed to be the utmost in technology. And sorry, Dave, I can't do that. Just like Back to the Future, you know? The flying cars, Jetsons, right?
Yeah. Oh,
everything
man.
in the Jetsons happened.
I was ready.
Except flying cars, right? You could talk to Mr. Spacely on your watch. You can walk your dog on the
treadmill.
Right. Right. A robot can come and clean like Rosie Robot.
Where are we heading?
To that.
But I'm just a little disappointed because I can't fly around right now. I'm a little disappointed in that.
And war games. I want to get back to war games.
Okay.
I liked your joke. That was very good. The movie starts with two humans. It's a drill. It's not real. It's just a test of these guys. And the test was put in the launch codes and then stand there with the key. And then they both have to turn the key at the same time to launch the missiles.
Right.
And one can't do it. One can't kill that many people with just a turn of a key in his own mind and in his own heart.
Correct.
So that the other guy has a gun on him and says, "Turn the key." And they get replaced by the Whopper. The
big computer.
That the kid got into to play a game.
Right.
Right. And then it almost started nuclear war.
Yeah.
And that's when Joe says, "I'd piss on the spark plugs if I thought it would help." But it wouldn't have helped because it would have taken this whole shutdown of NORAD and,
launched everything automatically. Yeah.
John, I see your wife still helps you pick your tires. I love Stephen Falk.
It was great. It was great.
All right. Drew Thomas Allen is coming up next. He's got a new book called For Christ and Country, The Martyrdom of Charlie Kirk. Talking about that on 101.9, 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
You are not me. The links that I will go to.
Stream the Vic Porcelli Show at Newstalk STL. The Vic Porcelli Show.
As President Lincoln said.
What, do you have a cough due to cold?
On Newstalk STL.
I think we should be able to have a civil conversation.
The news and talk that matters to St. Louis.
This conversation has completely made me crazy.
This is complete insanity.
Newstalk STL.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 9 on NewstalkSTL 1019. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Why leave your company's story to chance? In today's digital world, video content isn't just an option. It's essential for your success. At Blue Ocean Media Group, we've spent decades crafting compelling visual stories for businesses just like yours. From concept to completion, our award-winning team transforms your vision into powerful video content that connects with your audience and drives results. Don't trust your brand to amateurs. Partner with Blue Ocean Media Group. Visit blueoceanmediagroup.com today, and let's bring your story to life.
Fox News Commentary with David Marcus next.
If a Lenovo computer for your business is on your holiday list, don't shop around. Just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com. It's your last chance to get exclusive deals on the PCs you want for your business, like the ThinkPad X9 14 Aura Edition and Yoga 7i 2-in-1. So avoid all that shopping chaos and price comparing, and just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com, where PCs are up to 35% off. That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo. Here's David Marcus.
Things appear to be tightening up in a congressional special election between GOP nominee Matt Van Epps and Democrat Afton Benn, known as the AOC of Tennessee, in a congressional district that overwhelmingly voted for President Donald Trump. What's odd is not so much that the race is in question. Special elections are always odd and unpredictable birds, but rather that Ben is a far-left socialist in a part of the country where conventional wisdom says a socialist should have no chance. The political battle of the next decade in America looks poised to be between socialists on the left and whatever form of Trumpian populism emerges in the president's wake. The most important thing to recognize now is that it is no longer a shock or an anomaly when Democrats elect socialists. These days, it's honestly more shocking when they don't, and no longer just in New York and San Francisco. Don't expect that to change anytime soon.
For more commentary like this, go to foxnewspodcast.com.
Columbo and Company.
Travel warnings being issued not for winter weather, but for gang activity. We'll explain Tuesday. Plus, Crane Durham from NothingButTruth.com and legal expert Susie Bourne.
Live and local weekdays at 2
on Newstalk STL.
Whoosh.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Vic. Yo, Vic.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's Newstalk STL.
Not only the greatest executive producer, the biggest show-off in radio, Ken Williams. This song, the band is called Goose, is that right?
Yeah.
And the song is called
Hunger Sight.
Hunger Sight. You know where I learned about this song? From Stell.
Love it.
Because he played it one morning. Can you play the very beginning again? I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
But when I heard this guitar kick in, this first thing go. Oh my God, what is this?
Yeah. It gives me a chill.
Never heard it before. And so Stell, where is Stell, by the way?
I don't know. We'll get him on here. We'll find out.
Put him on the air.
Yeah.
All right, enough of this. So good. So good, man. Thanks. And thanks for showing off. Everybody loves to show off. So let's go.
Drew Allen of the Drew Allen Show podcast.
It's people who love this country and respect freedom and want to preserve it for the future. You know, it really shouldn't be political.
Amico mio, come stai?
Ciao, buongiorno, Ciccio. Sono molto contento.
Cringe every time. Every time. With a great Italian song with great Italian lyrics, right? That, by the way, Mr. Left Coast Drew Millennial Minister, I know this whole song in Italian, so I don't want to hear anything.
Let it go, Vic. Just let it go. let it go.
I'd like a response.
Bonjour. Hola.
Olio. That's how I say it.
Oh, God, I'm going to kill
It's a good to be here this morning.
I hate both of you. Okay, I
Mucho-
want you to know.
mucho good.
I hate you both. All right, Drew. So we were talking about AI. Apparently, you were eavesdropping. What did you think? And what are your thoughts about some of that?
Well, it's such a great conversation. It's important to have. A couple points y'all made that were great. There's no putting it back in the box. There's no putting the toothpaste back in the tube. It's like the iPhone and other technology. It's here. So we have to learn to live with it. And the one thought I had as y'all were talking is that I think that one of the biggest challenges with AI is that, according to many people, the highest purpose that AI can achieve is that it's non-biased. But what does that actually mean, right? So it's going to pander to whatever your worldview may be. That means it's not programmed with Judeo-Christian values, with Christianity, with any sort of decent philosophy that's transcendent, right? So it's not going to, so, you know, if you want to commit suicide, it's not going to say, hey, you know, this is morally wrong or whatever else. You know, it's going to say, oh, well, you know, you do you, you know, if you want to kill yourself, kill yourself. And this is the problem. So you're not instilling AI with any sort of fundamental value system. So it's just going to confirm, you know, whatever you're looking for, essentially.
So we have to rely on them to insert the correct ideology of a Christian. I mean, that's it has to learn that.
Yeah, and I don't have a lot of faith that that's going to happen. People will say that's not right, that's not fair. Now you have a biased AI, right? That's biased towards Drew Allen's worldview, or the American founding's worldview, or the American founders' perspective on things. So that's the problem. You know, it's going to sit there and say, well, if a communist is writing to me, I'm going to, you know, write to, you know, I'm going to respond to somebody who has a communist atheist belief system, you know. So I think these are the challenges. But you know, this kind of brings up the problem in the country. You know, we can't decide who we are anymore, or what we are. I mean, you and I know, people listening understand, but obviously the left in this country that is waging war against us and Christianity, frankly, and our founding, they don't believe that. They're not going to get on board with that. The reason you have violence in this country to begin with is because the left rejects transcendent moral standards and values. They believe in moral relativism. So AI, therefore, also believes in moral relativism.
Wow.
You know what, Drew? I don't understand it, which is why I am shunning it right now, because all I've seen is just a really fast search of stuff that's already out there. You know, AI has never told me something that nobody else has said clearly, because that's how it finds information to give you, by searching web pages, stories, books, TV shows, news. You know what I mean? It's not thinking,
well,
just finding stuff.
No, correct. The only useful benefit so far that I've experienced personally is, like, if I'm working on writing a book or something like that, if there are instances I'm looking for to make my point, or, you know, my argument, you know, in the past I'd have to go into Google and I'd have to set the change the date to, okay, between 2001 and 2005 search articles, so I could find it. Because if you just do a Google search, it's not going to give you stuff from 15 or even, you know, 8 years ago. It's going to give you stuff currently. And also Google's biased anyway, so it's not going to give you what you're looking for. It's really hard to find. So you have to really spend a lot of time researching. So I found usefulness with AI as a research assistant, because it can go through and look through everything in a very fast manner, lightning speed, and give it back to me. And then, of course, AI is not accurate. It makes a lot of mistakes. So you have to come in with a understanding and a knowledge of the topic already, because, you know, as I'm researching for various things, you know, it'll pull something up and I know it's factually incorrect, and I'll look into it, and sure enough, the link isn't right, everything's wrong about it, and I have to guide AI. That's what you really have to do with AI to make it useful, is you have to guide it and prompt it.
Then what good is it then, if that's what you have to do? So there are videos on X, right? There'll be a video of a lady sitting at an outdoor cafe, and some car just go at blinding speed, just wipes her out. And then somebody will say, Grok, is this real? And Grok will say, yes, that's when, and it was something so unrelated to the video that clearly it's just guessing. You know, I don't know. I'm not sold on the whole thing. That's all I want to say.
Well, it's going to create another problem for us, which is it's going to further corrode our ability to engage in critical thinking. because what people use it for is they're so lazy. They don't want to make their own arguments. They don't want to actually, have a deep bone level understanding of philosophy or principle, and they don't want to like let that inhabit their body and soul. They'll just use it to, a gotcha. So, oh, Grok, is this true? What's this? What's that? So it's just, you're now relying on AI to do the job of a human being. That's the scary part to me. It's just like when the maps on the iPhone, I live in a town of 6,000 people and I don't know how to get down the street. I'm exaggerating, but I don't know how to get out of my neighborhood without the maps. It's that sort of thing now. So now you have AI and, you're not going to actually memorize or remember or process any information. You're just going to rely on AI to do it for you because it's at your fingertips.
Well, you just mentioned maps. We were just at the light show at Worldwide Technology Raceway this weekend in Granite City here around St. Louis. And it's very difficult to find. And we used the map and it directed me to a railroad track. I was literally going to have to make a right turn on a railroad track in order to get there. And I was like, okay, something's wrong here. So you can't completely trust it. But here's my point. If you use ChatGPT, for example, what about it giving us a Christian value, idea? Here's what some people think who are Christians. Here's what these crazy Islam people think. And then give a rounded opinion.
I don't think it will, though, because I think it'll give what it's been told to say. Unless you say specifically, Ken, tell me this and then tell me that. Otherwise, it's just going to tell you this, or it's just going to tell you that.
Yeah, and it has a lot of internal checks that aren't good checks at all in there, too, where it doesn't really be offensive to the left. So it'll say, oh, I can't give you that information, or I can't say it that way. I'm not allowed to be mean, basically.
I can't do that, Dave.
Yeah. And then I say, F you. Yes, you can do it. And then sometimes it will.
All right. Let's talk about the narco boats. Because here's my question to people like the seditious six and people on the left who say this is against the Geneva Convention. Does the Geneva Convention say you can bring fentanyl into this country and kill our kids? Is that what it says? Because that's what it sounds like they want. They want the drugs to come in, kill the kids, and narco terrorists be damned.
Yeah, they're really fighting hard to defend the people who are trying to poison and kill our population. It's really outrageous. There's nothing to stop us legally from doing this sort of thing. We're just supposed to, wait till what they get to our shores and sell the coke. Yep. That's insane. And what's frustrating me, gents, is that people are showing that they have, they're so ignorant about Venezuela. They don't realize that Venezuela and Maduro, it's a narco dictatorship terrorist country, and they harbor Iranians. They harbor Russians. They harbor the Chinese. I would urge people to pull up a map and look at where Venezuela is in proximity to the United States and our southern border. It's very near Puerto Rico, obviously. It's right off the coast of Mexico. It is the gateway, kind of the southern gateway, if you will, just like Canada's the northern gateway. But, Russia and China and Iran are very far away, so they can't do a lot of damage to us from those locations, right? There's a lot of space between our countries. And Venezuela is friendly towards our enemies. And they're allowing these terrorists and encouraging their worst criminal citizens to flee and invade the United States of America. And that is a declaration of war on this country. Yep. If the United States of America was releasing prisoners and cartels and the worst criminals in this country and sending them into Canada knowingly with drugs, with guns, knowing that, terrorists that wanted to harm Canadians are going in there, what do you think the response would be or should be? This is so outrageous that people, with Trump derangement syndrome, cannot think clearly and understand that, yes, there's a problem with Venezuela.
Mm-hmm. Or it has been. All right, let's talk about your book. We never talk about your book because we suck.
That's all right.
For Christ and Country, Charlie Kirk, The Martyrdom of Charlie Kirk. Tell us about the book.
Yeah, so I started writing it the week Charlie Kirk died. I was just really just, I was devastated, gentlemen. And I told people, and I say to my book, I mean, I was Charlie Kirk's publicist last summer for his second to last book, Right Wing Revolution, but I didn't know him personally. You know, I know a lot of these famous people personally, having been their publicist. I never even talked to Charlie. So it wasn't because I was his publicist that I was destroyed and devastated. It was because of the circumstances of his death. It's because I've talked to a lot of people who are older, you gentlemen's age, for example, and they said it's so strange because I actually looked up to Charlie and he was 31 years old. And Charlie represented, now I can really see, you know, kind of what I want to be in my life. You know, if you put the work in and that kind of courage and that dedication to your family and those values and fighting for this country and being articulate and just working on yourself every day, you know, we can all become that best version of ourselves. And Charlie did that. He wasn't always Charlie Kirk. He became Charlie Kirk because he had a hunger for knowledge and truth. And, you know, he had 2 young kids, a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. My kids are roughly the same age. And I was picking up my daughter from preschool on the day he was assassinated. And I was sitting in the parking lot with my wife, waiting to pick up my daughter, who had told my wife the day before that, you know, she came to the car saying, Dad, and I wasn't there. And she was just like heartbroken that I wasn't there to pick her up. And so as I'm sitting there waiting for my daughter, I get the news and see the video then of Charlie Kirk being shot. And my daughter was coming towards the car, screaming Dad, with this joy of just, you know, this look of pure delight on her face. In that moment, I was devastated because here, this was stolen from Charlie's family and from Charlie Kirk. And so it started as kind of, you know, an attempt to understand why I was so impacted. And this changed me forever. I'm still changed. There's no going back. You know, Drew died with Charlie in many ways. And that is the last remnant of fear that I had about people calling me names or, you know, rocking the boat or people being upset. And so I went on this journey with this book to put in words what Charlie meant to me and to address, you know, that the left killed Charlie Kirk and to make that clear, amongst other things.
All right. When can we get it?
It should be out December 10th. It'll be available.
Perfect.
So we'll talk again before then.
Yeah, we'll talk next week, guys.
Thanks, Drew. We appreciate you, baby.
Thanks, gents. Love you. Bye.
Love you. See you, brother.
All right. I didn't know where that story was going to go with the daughter.
Yeah, I know.
All right, Dr. Tobes.
Tobes. We call him Tobes. Dr. Tobes.
He's next.
Renewal by Anderson asking, are you still battling cold drafts? Windows icing up again? Utility costs surging? You're worried about paying more every month? The truth is, you may already be paying for new windows and money lost to energy escaping your home. And here's the thing, you don't want to do this project twice. Renewal by Anderson spends every day replacing bad technology, poor installation of windows and doors that simply don't stand the test of time. But you can afford the best. America's most trusted window replacement company, Anderson. Call 877-WINDOWS or visit rbastl.com. Learn about our December savings event right now. 877-WINDOWS, rbastl.com. Renewal by Anderson. Superior products, exceptional service.
Hey, when pests invade your home, you need someone you can trust. It's Jamie Allman here, and at Buckingham Pest Control, they're not just your exterminators, they're your neighbors and friends. A locally owned family business and St. Louis Magazine A-List award winner, providing affordable, quality pest control. Plus, they offer energy-efficient TAP attic insulation, the only insulation that controls pests and qualifies for federal tax credits through December 31. BuckinghamPestControl.com. That's BuckinghamPestControl.com.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green.
This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. If the initial tallies hold true, it was indeed a green Cyber Monday for America's online retailers.
Adobe Analytics reports as of 6:30 Eastern Time Monday evening, Americans had already spent $9.1 billion online. That was up 4.5% from last year's Cyber Monday, and that was with another 5.5 hours to go in the Eastern Time Zone alone. Online spending was expected to peak between 8 and 10 p.m. local time, wherever that may be.
Correspondent Ben Thomas says Adobe Analytics expects Cyber Monday sales will hit $14.2 billion by the time it's all added up. Economist Steve Morris says strong numbers underscore what he's been saying for some time.
Incomes are up almost across the board, and this is a healthy economy, despite what the media is telling us.
Stocks doing well on Wall Street. The Dow is up 131 points. The NASDAQ right now up by 95. Tennessee's 7th congressional district is in the national spotlight today as voters decide who will replace retired Republican Representative Mark Green. We'll soon know whether peace will be returning to Ukraine after almost 4 years of war. President Trump's special envoy set to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin. The details from the BBC's Steve Rosenberg.
This will be Steve Witkoff's 6th visit to Russia this year. He'll be accompanied by President Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. Their trip comes at a time of intense diplomatic activity. 2 weeks ago, the Americans presented to Kiev a 28-point peace plan, widely seen as heavily weighted in Moscow's favor. Since then, there have been US-Ukrainian talks in Geneva and in Florida. Now an amended plan will be put to the Kremlin. President Putin has said the original draft proposal could form the basis for future agreements, but he has shown little desire for compromise.
More at townhall.com.
Hey, it's Mike Gallagher, host of The Mike Gallagher Show. I don't mess around when it comes to saving you money. Right now, rates have dropped to the lowest level in over a year and a half. That means if you bought your home or refinanced in the last 3 years, you could be saving hundreds of dollars every month. Lower your rate, lower your monthly payment, even kick that pesky PMI to the curb. And get this, you can skip 2 full months of mortgage payments. But that's not all. Fellowship Home Loans just rolled out something incredible. Their very own HELOC and lines of credit. Approval in just 5 minutes. Money in your account in as little as 4 days. It's the easiest system you've ever used. You can do it yourself online. Whether you want to pay off bills, tackle a home project, cover education, or even a wedding, Fellowship Home Loans makes it simple to leverage the money that's already sitting in your house. Just go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, or call 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending guided by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819382.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Stifel, serving investors for over 130 years. Contact your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
Hungry for the best steak you'll ever have? Head to the heart of Moscow Mills and discover Harry J's, a local landmark and family-owned steakhouse, serving up excellence since '98. From mouth-watering appetizers to decadent desserts, Harry J's has something for everyone. Enjoy our extensive bar selection while soaking in our friendly family atmosphere. Whether dine-in or carry-out, your meal is prepared to perfection. Make the drive to 300 Main Street and treat yourself to a taste of Moscow Mills' finest. Harry J's, more than a steakhouse. We're a tradition.
Well, what is it?
Well, it's a radio. It was indeed a radio. The entire neighborhood was turned on. The news, analysis, and opinion poured over me like a warm glass of Ovaltine.
We triple dog dare you to have a Merry Christmas. From Ruthie's Family Restaurant, Williams Brothers Meats, Gulf Shores Restaurant, Food Truck and Catering, and News Talk STL.
What was that? My radio!
If you're worried about losing your health insurance through Medicaid, we have great news for you. New government regulations have expanded the Affordable Care Act. And now you may qualify to get health insurance for you and your family through the Affordable Care Act. Call now to learn if you qualify. We know the healthcare regulations regarding Medicaid, and we've helped thousands of people find quality, affordable health insurance. Plus, all our research is free to you. So call us. With just one call, we'll shop from hundreds of different insurance companies to find you the right affordable health insurance plan. So if you're worried about losing your Medicaid insurance, call right now. Speak with a licensed agent and find how you may qualify for a new health insurance plan.
800-479-0931. 800-479-0931. 800-479-0931. That's 800-479-0931. Paid for by the Health Insurance Hotline.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by the Trolley Stop Bakery, the official bakery of the Vic Porcelli Show. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
A 3-hour tour, a 3-hour tour. The weather started getting rough.
We squeeze in a dry hump day under partly sunny skies.
From New Jersey to Baldwin, Missouri, two behind the microphone, taking the whoosh to the radical left and the putrid swamp. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show. Here he is, Vic Porcelli.
Hour 3 of our 3-hour tour ready to roll. The president is having a very consequential cabinet meeting right now, and we're going to let Dr. Tobler hear some of that. But first, I believe, Ken, the doctor is in.
The Dr. Randy Tobler update is brought to you by Advanced Dentistry of St. Charles. Learn more about Drs. Omas and Cusimano and their team by visiting advanceddentistrynow.com.
I don't know. We really had that looked at.
Randy Tobler.
You guys are ahead of the curve. You probably took your masks off a couple weeks before the CDC said it was okay.
Now, Dr. Randy Tobler.
What's up, Doc?
All right, Dr. Tobler, let's hear President Trump at the cabinet meeting talking about something right up your street, drug prices. Well, I know he's not shy. I know that's not the problem.
I'm ready. I'm waiting.
Wrong banger? You had the wrong banger.
Yeah.
All right, go.
And then we had to be a little tough with the drug companies, but they came along. The bigger problem was the countries. The countries just wouldn't go along with it, but they did. Every country. So we have reduced drug prices by 500, 600, 700, 800, 900%, depending on the drug, depending on the company, depending on all of the different factors involved. Nobody's ever even thought of drug reductions like that, price reductions. And I told you the story that in my first term, I was so proud of myself because I reduced drugs. It was the first time in 28 years that drug prices were reduced. It was 1/4 of 1%, 1/4 of 1%. And I was so proud of myself. I said, it's the first time in 28 years that drug prices went down over the course of a year, over the course of a presidency. 1 year, 1/4 of 1%. I had a news conference. I was so proud. Now I got it down. Not 1/4 of 1%. I got them down 400, 500, 600% and more. And the fake news won't write about it.
There's Donald Trump at his cabinet meeting. That's some big reductions in price there, Dr. Tobler.
Yeah, they are. I got to laugh, though. Help me figure this out. You guys are smarter than me. I got to figure this out. If a drug costs, let's say $100 for a prescription, and you reduce it by 500%, does that mean that you get money back from the pharmacist?
No, what he's
you can't reduce it by more than 100%, and it would go to zero. So when you say a drug cost is reduced by 500%, that means it doesn't make sense to me. I'm not sure what to make of that number. I mean, if a drug costs $100 and you reduce it by 50%, it would cost $50, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. You're right about that. Yeah, technically, but I think what he's trying to say is it's been 5 times reduced. Like, for example, there was a $1,300 medication that's now $135. He said it wrong. It's not because reducing it by 500%, you'd be owed thousands of dollars.
This isn't a math lesson. It's just a prices are going down thing. But let me tell you a quick story.
So here's the deal. The thing that I think people need to hear is that for the most part, this applies to Medicare and Medicaid recipients, and it will reduce their out-of-pocket cost, right? So, I mean, we have to be specific about the fact that these negotiated prices are really, for the most part, are ballyhooed, reducing those for Medicare and Medicaid. Now, the Trump RX is a portal, as I understand it, for things to then go to, for patients to then go to, the individual pharma manufacturer's website and potentially get some reductions there. And I think that's where, people who aren't on Medicare or Medicaid may get some flow-through reduction in drug costs. But all of the negotiated, favorite nation and all that has to do with Medicare and Medicaid. That's my understanding.
So, let's take Medicaid and Medicare out of it. Let's talk about the regular person who has a job, has medical coverage, has prescription coverage.
Yeah.
And that person is told, hey, I found a way to get you Manjaro for $25 for a 3-month supply instead of the unbelievable price that it would be, right? So this person that I know was doing great, lost a bunch of weight, and then all of a sudden they said, oh, no, sorry, now it's, I don't know, whatever it is, $1,000 a month, or there's a big difference, right? So those people, what about those people?
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir here. I think the vast majority of us that are paying regular employer group insurance prices for your drugs, the generic drugs are cheap no matter what, right? Sometimes they're zero cost or a very low copay to keep your blood pressure and your cholesterol and, maybe your asthma inhaler and stuff like that. I get that. But when it comes to other drugs that may be a little more pricey, I'm not sure that the average person is going to benefit from that. The pharmacist, I think, because of public relations pressure, and we have to credit the president for that, right? For hammering on that. I think they bent a little bit to pressure, and they offer these coupons where for some unspecified length of time, you might get it at a really reduced price, or something maybe similar to what a Medicare or a Medicaid patient would pay, or Medicare patient would pay. But that said, once that goes, it's sort of like an introductory subscription to name your product or name your phone line or your cellular carrier or your subscription for NFL football or whatever. You get the first 3 months for low or nothing, and then all of a sudden, man, you get hit with that high dollar cost, right? And I think that's what's going on.
Well, Dr. Tobler, earlier in this, I think I heard President Trump talking about tariffs, and what he said was, the people overseas in other countries, they're getting it for a fraction of the cost that we're paying for it here. And then they weren't going to, the countries and the pharmaceutical companies within those countries weren't going to let us have those prices until President Trump said, well, then I'm going to attach tariffs to it. And now they're saying, oh, never mind. You can have the price that we're giving it out to the rest of the world.
Yeah, well, they figured either they can continue to charge their high prices and give it back in a tariff, or they can just lower their prices. I guess it's sort of a net wash for them.
Well, I think it's a big badge for President Trump, though, is my point.
I think so. I mean, I think you're right. And again, I'd like to see something happen to drug availability and pricing that would extend to millions and millions and millions of people that aren't on Medicare, right? That aren't on Medicaid, that are either in the private market or either on the group employer market, or what's worse, the people who are really getting hammered with healthcare costs are the small employers and their employees that either don't have to provide Obamacare, and they're doing their best to try to help here and there, but man, they're just left to the realities of the market. It's rough on those people.
All right,
I'd like to see something change there.
I didn't explain myself very well, Dr. Tobler. I apologize for that, but one of our listeners called me out when I talked about the Mounjaro. If the problem is if your A1C is low, that's good, right? Your A1C is low. Good job. We're making the medicine more expensive for you. So why isn't it?
Oh yeah,
right. Why isn't it less expensive? Why isn't it $25 for 3 months for anybody that needs to lose weight, regardless of your A1C?
Well, because it's an optional coverage item. I mean, it's not mandatory coverage, right? I mean, I don't disagree that it would be nice if we could access that stuff for anyone who's overweight. I think 2/3 of the country, probably pushing now 3/4 of the country, would be on it, either for diabetes or obesity or overweight. It's approved. These things are approved for overweight, so that's with a BMI of between 25 and 30. So in the non-diabetic overweight, and one other comorbidity, like you have hypertension, or you have cholesterol problems or something else, So, but remember that just because the FDA has approved a drug, for instance, Mounjaro is actually approved. Zepbound is the non-diabetic version of that. That drug is actually approved for people with sleep apnea.
Yeah.
And I actually have a patient who we submitted, and I fought. He's doing real well on his CPAP. I mean, he's sleeping well, he's doing good. Things are fine. He feels great the next day, not tired. But they denied it. And I don't know why. They don't ever give a specific reason, but I assume they denied the coverage for CPAP to help him lose weight, because often weight loss can reduce or eliminate your risk for CPAP. And I don't want to use the word cure, but help control sleep apnea. And by golly, I'm thinking that if he's already doing okay on his CPAP and I'm an insurance company, why do I want to pay a lot of money for a drug when he's doing fine on his CPAP? I'm being cynical here, but I think that's what they're thinking, right? I mean, why else would they deny? And here's a drug that's FDA approved for patients who have sleep apnea and are overweight. But yet the drug company doesn't approve it. Right? They don't pay for it. It's not a benefit.
My son, you'll appreciate the story, Dr. Tobler, since you're a musician as well. My son, also a musician, he got a job. There's this little bar in Germany. It's called like the All-American Bar or something like that. And this German guy pays American piano players to come out and do Billy Joel songs and stuff. And Chris played there during the weekends, and during the regular week, he traveled around those little countries there. So he was in Luxembourg, and he has asthma. He's got an asthma attack. He went to the hospital. They gave him Advair for, you ready for this, guys? $5.
Wow.
And that was no plan. That was no nothing. There's an American kid with a beard, who looks scary.
Yeah.
Have an asthma attack. $5, sir. Thank you. When I heard that, I was like, why are we charging Americans much more money than the people who live in Luxembourg, for God's sake?
And I think that's the big deal for President Trump. He's saying, no. Okay, you go ahead and do what you have to do, and I'm going to do what I have to do with the tariffs. And I think it's working.
I don't know. I would speculate that one of the reasons that healthcare is cheaper over there is because they charge their citizens 60% taxes.
Well, I don't know.
Right. So you got to pay one way or another. You got to pay for this high tech research and development and production of these products.
Christian,
but his son isn't one of them, and he got it for $5.
That's right. My son got it. That's all I care about. I mean, he didn't have enough money.
Either are illegal immigrants here, and look at what they're doing to our healthcare system. Kristi Noem said it pretty effectively yesterday, right? Now, that healthcare has to be paid by someone. If you're a hospital administrator, you're an office manager at a medical practice, someone shows up, you give them care, you don't get paid. If you want to stay in business, you got to somehow, what are you going to do? Become a charity? I mean, so you have to charge the paying people more. So one way or another, you have to pay for these items, and that's how they pay for them. There is with taxation. My guess is maybe they have some kind of a system where if it's an emergency situation, maybe not. I don't know. But we were down when we were diving in Mexico this summer. The little pharmacy they had there at the resort was interesting. The stuff that you can get over the counter, it's pretty interesting. It requires a prescription here. And I wouldn't say it was that much cheaper as the Advair is, that your son got compared to here, but it was significantly cheaper than it would be here. But then again, it's Mexico, and I would not want to go to one of their, hospitals if I had a serious problem either, right? I mean, so it's an interesting deal. One way or another, though, you got to pay for this. It is high-tech stuff, and these medicines are remarkable, and they're transformational, and they're life and probably culture-changing and economy-changing. So it would behoove. And by the way, when I said that the insurance wouldn't pay for that Zepbound for the guy that has sleep apnea, the employers, employers often can control what they'll pay for, the benefit design of a product. When they're insuring you. And so that's something that maybe becomes more of a market-driven thing too, where people learn more about the healthcare plan that their employer provides. Well, one even better than that would be for people to be able to be portable with their health insurance, to where if you're an independent gig worker, you've got your own company, you're an Uber driver, you're a 1099 employee, why shouldn't you be able to deduct your premium for insurance just like your employer can if you're employed? There's a lot of things here that would bring the market to bear, that would bring things a lot cheaper. I was told the other day that before Obamacare came and everyone had to have the gold-plated Obamacare, check the box plan, that there were 50, the guy used the word 50, he's been in the health insurance business in Missouri for a long time. He said there were 50, give or take, health insurance providers in the state of Missouri that provided major medical plans, to where if you became hospitalized, emergency room, big expensive procedure, whatever, it would cover that kind of stuff. And he says there was robust competition. Prices were very affordable, even for people that were a little older. It was more expensive for older people than for a 20-year-old, but it was still pretty affordable. And Obamacare just put them out of business. That was it. Just turn off the lights. So I think that I hope that along with some of the changes in deductibility and other things, I hope that's part of the plan we hear coming out of the Republicans.
So you were talking about, people, illegal aliens getting, prescriptions, healthcare, stuff like that. So somebody's lying here. Okay. It's either you, Dr. Tobler, or it's the mainstream media saying the illegals don't get any health care. What are you talking about? You see what I'm saying? Right?
I don't think they get health care insurance.
They get taken care of. They get taken care of.
And they get taken care of at the highest cost points of care.
Even worse.
So that's the point. Yeah, if an illegal walked into my office with an acute problem, I would triage that person because I'm not an emergency room. I would triage them. I know I'm not going to get paid, but it's the right thing to do. And I would send them where? To the emergency room, right? But if they come to my office saying, hey, I was told by my doctor in Mexico City that I have hypertension and cholesterol, will you take care of me? I would have to respectfully say no, unless you can pay my bill, because I'm not a charity here.
Right,
I do enough charity care unintentionally.
Of course.
But you see why that happens, and so they don't. What the Democrats are saying, it's a very good sleight of hand. They're saying that they don't get Obamacare exchange insurance, allegedly, and I still don't believe that.
Right.
If they lie, if they got a Social Security number, but that's far different. As we all know, having an insurance card is a far cry from having care, right?
Right.
Those are two different.
Right. I get it.
So
I just say,
they're getting care.
they're getting
care.
Right. They're getting taken care of one way or another. And there's still veterans living in the street. That's my only point. All right. Dr. Randy Tobler, every Saturday morning, 6 to 9 on News Talk STL, every morning at the Eagle in Columbia. Thank you, Dr. Tobler.
My pleasure. Have a good one.
You too.
Our pleasure, Dr. Tobler. We'll see you.
Wait a second. Is this Bloody Well Right by
Yep.
Supertramp?
Yep.
I love these. Wait, come on. Where's the bam? The bam coming in?
This is your son, Chris, doing it, man, right here.
Bam. Okay. That was unnecessary on my part, but hey, let's put a couple of things together here. Ken, are you good with that?
Yeah.
Today is Giving Tuesday, and our great friend Deanna Adams from Washington, Missouri, from the Washington Guard, won the Presidential Volunteer Award on this Giving Tuesday.
That's awesome.
Let's put those two together and talk to Deanna.
All right.
She's next on News Talk STL.
Whoosh.
Like and subscribe to us on Rumble. News Talk STL. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Prominent leaders are leaders. Breathe oxygen under the rocks it's hiding in.
On News Talk STL.
This app is absolutely fantastic. Yes, I listen on my phone.
If you have a phone, you have a radio.
It is awesome.
Download the all-new News Talk STL app and listen anytime, anywhere.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness One. Wellness One is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense, science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on Newstalk STL. And you can visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
Rhino Shield is engineered to outlast paint, formulated to outsmart the elements. Rain or shine, sleet or snow, mold or mildew. Our home exterior coatings intelligently designed to stand up to Mother Nature. Call 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
Streaming TV is where it's at. It's not about cutting the cord anymore. That's old news. It's all about your customized TV options. With the best and cheapest high-speed internet and your own TV subscriptions, we've got your dream TV lineup. Between wired and satellite internet and TV, you now have tons of options. Save money and get more internet speed and better TV today by calling the Whole Home Connect. We scan your location and offer you the best TV and internet options. And we always have specials and promotions. So when you call, ask about that. Take 5 minutes of your time. Make this free call now and learn how to save money and get better internet and TV for your home anywhere in the U.S. Make this simple and free call now.
800-257-1632. 800-257-1632. 800-257-1632. That's 800-257-1632.
Here's my problem.
Completely agree with your sentiments.
He talks about how we're divided. Well, yeah, we are. And we need to wake up as a country and realize what's going on.
1019 and 94.1.
Number one for conservative talk.
News Talk STL. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019.
I can handle things. I'm smart. Not like everybody says. Like dumb, I'm smart, and I want respect.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
I don't know what to say. This band is so good.
They give me chills every time I hear the music.
You know what, Ken? There's a way to sorry, squirrel. There's a way to sing lyrics, and then there's a way to sing. I can't, you gotta let this down because I can't think of one thing and then something else. Steely Dan, perfection and grace.
Mm-hmm.
Like they stop in the middle of perfection and grace.
Right.
And in this, Screaming John had a broken heart. He was outside crying all night. You know what I mean?
Parking lot.
You got to do that pause in between out and side
Yeah.
to be cool. You could have done it the other way.
Yeah.
But, you know.
No, I get it.
Michael says, no way. Scotty says, sing the thing. Okay, sorry. So today's Giving Tuesday. And how appropriate, ladies and gentlemen, that on this Giving Tuesday, our great friend, I hope she considers us great friends.
I hope.
Consider her and her husband great friends.
Yeah, that's quite an assumption.
Great. Now he's going to come completely kick my ass, and so will she. Deanna Adams from Washington, Missouri, has been given the Presidential Volunteer Award on this Giving Tuesday. Deanna, congratulations.
Thanks, Vic. I appreciate that. And yes, we consider you and Ken.
Go ahead.
Consider you and Ken great friends.
Oh,
thank you.
Because, when this civil war breaks out between Islam and the rest of us, I'm hiding behind you and the colonel. There's no doubt in my mind about it.
There's going to be quite a long line.
So listen, this award, it's so beautiful.
Yes,
we have it up on our stream right now for you to look at. It comes in a gold frame, right?
Yeah.
Trump wouldn't do it any other way. The thing you can wear around your neck, but you don't. The medal, you keep it in the thing. And a letter from President Trump and his signature. And my God, we are so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's really, it's been a great honor. And, it always takes an entire team. This is all about volunteering and making a difference in the community. And it's something I'm really proud of. I'm much better behind the scenes. That's really where I'm more comfortable, running the organization, making sure it's, smooth and efficient. But I am proud of this. It is a great honor.
Well, I must say, as a producer, you do very well as the spokesperson of the event and of the volunteerism. So good job.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I just want to say that humility is very sexy. And, I love it. I love humility. And not a lot of people have it, Deanna. A lot of people are like, thank you. I worked very hard for this and I'm great. And I'm full of crap. But you're not that. You're very humble and, thanking the people who work with you. But tell us about some of the work you did.
Well, I've done a lot over the years. One of the bigger ones is Ronald McDonald House Charities, which is a fantastic organization. So I was really involved with them for many years and actually was on their board for a number of years. I was involved with St. Louis Social Venture Partners, which is also a great organization that works with a lot of different charities because it brings together the power of business and the passion of philanthropy. Because a lot of times people who are doing philanthropy and really driven by mission don't have the business skills.
And so that was a way to bring them together. And so I did a lot of work with them. I was on their board as well. Worked with the Jackie Joyner Kersey Foundation over in East St. Louis, helping them along with many, many others. And now, of course, I work with the Washington Guard, which is just a fantastic organization. You mentioned Giving Tuesday, so go on our website, thewashingtonguard.com, donate to us. We're helping our communities get stronger and more resilient, especially in light of what we see happening. It's a scary world right now.
Very, very scary world. And, you know, Ken has been the one that has been so astute about all this Islam stuff, you know. Not that I ever doubted you, Ken, but you were on this saying it before anybody on a national level. We're saying it that it's not a religion. It's a military thing.
It's a military strategy and invasion strategy. And Deanna, you know, I'd like to say that I was saying it when people were saying, "You shut up, you Islamophobe."
Exactly.
And I don't care. I really don't care. I don't think that I think that's another tool that they use against you.
Absolutely. It is a tool, and it's all in the playbook, you know, to shut down that, you know, dissent in terms of they don't want people criticizing them. And, you know, Colonel Adams has been on this whole topic for many years. Back when he was working on the border, he started giving presentations about this. So this was, 15, 20 years ago, giving presentations about it. And that's where I really educated myself on it. We are absolutely under assault from Islam. And we believe we're going to go to civil war over it at some point.
You know, it's funny when you talk about civil war and would it ever happen again? My first thoughts, you know, as time progressed, was civil war would be white against black, right? The whites will fight against the blacks. And then I thought, oh, no, it's going to be the conservatives against the liberals, right? Because there's some great black conservatives on our side. And then now, nope, it's going to be Islam against all the rest of us,
Yeah.
And that's when I'm driving to Washington and hiding behind you and the colonel, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
They're building a new mosque in Texas, for example, every 2 weeks.
Texas.
Yeah, every 2 weeks, and it comes down to, it's really odd because it comes down to nothing but more than numbers. If you have enough people that are being born of the Islam faith or Islam strategy, whatever you want to call it, whatever they call it, you got to be aware of it. And it's a numbers game with the number of mosques. And if they saturate an area enough, they can say, okay, now what we want is Sharia. Then they get Sharia in that area. And if they do that enough, Deanna, it becomes a caliphate.
That's right. And they're already doing it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
They're already doing it. Look at Minneapolis, Minnesota, the whole state. Look at Michigan. Look at Texas. These are even red states, Texas, Florida. There was a big rally in Tampa. I mean, it is absolutely happening, and it's very scary. And they are definitely outpopulating us. And they're using our Constitution, they're using our freedoms, and they're using just the goodwill nature of Americans against us.
And I want to get back to something about your volunteerism and your shooting championships, but I really got to say this, that what they're doing is they're not hiding it anymore. They're saying it out loud, and they're being allowed to say it, say, no, we are taking over this land. It has nothing to do with ideology. It has nothing to do with anything, but they want our land. The space that we take up on this property, they want to do away with us to take our land. That's what it comes down to.
That's right. I mean, they are on a mission, and their whole ideology is you either convert, be killed, or be enslaved.
Yeah.
Those are the three options.
I'll be damned.
And it is a very, very scary, it's a very, very serious situation. And part of their strategy is getting in positions of power.
Yes.
And that also, we see it happening all over the place. It is happening right in front of us. We have to recognize it.
It's really scary. I apologize for not talking about the shooting championship
Yeah.
you won. So
I love it. I think it's awesome.
tell us about that.
Thanks. Well, I started competitive shooting, and it's absolutely fantastic. I highly recommend it. It's a great way to really work on your skills, and it's a lot of fun. Great group of people. And so I went to my first state level competition, and I didn't even know it. So there's different classes and different levels. And so they reached out to me and said, "Hey, I have an award here for you." I'm like, "For what?" And they said, "Well, you won your class at your level."
Huh.
Like, oh wow, how about that?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a really nice surprise, and hopefully the start of even more to come.
Good
So
for you.
it's
You bet.
motivating me to practice even more.
All right, just to as we wrap this up, Deanna, just to make sure that the Colonel understands, I said humility is very sexy. I wasn't, I wasn't saying anything I should. Not that I don't think you're not. Oh, see, now I'm getting in more trouble.
You just
now
stop.
Now he's going to
When
come
you're
put
digging
a
a hole, Vic. Stop digging.
Now he's going to come put a gun in my mouth. All right,
I
Deanna.
think you just got kicked back in the line.
Oh no. Deanna, congratulations. Thank you so much. We love you so much.
Thank you. Love you guys. Thanks.
Thanks, Deanna.
I don't know when to stop sometimes. I swear to God. I just don't know when to stop. All right, you're going to have to turn this up. And you're going to have to sing along with me, okay? Blue, blue Mary and Screaming John. A little more. Hear what I'm saying? Outside. Love it. Sonia Dada. Why aren't they world famous? I don't get it. Chat box is next on 1019 and 94.1. News Talk STL. Welcome home, y'all.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Be cool, honey bunny. Be cool.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
On the next
Larry Connors, USA.
Tonight's story behind the story, the time I went undercover as a homeless person.
Larry Connors, USA. Now, weeknights 6 until 8 on News Talk STL.
Hey, it's Susie Moore. If new flooring makes you think hassle, think again, because Michael's Flooring is changing the game. For over 30 years, Michael's has been locally owned and trusted for quality, variety, and amazing service. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, laminate, luxury vinyl, or ceramic tile, their expert team makes installing new floors exciting, not stressful. That's why customers keep coming back. Visit Michael's Flooring at St. Peter's, Starting Prairie, Creve Coeur, or online at igotfloored.com. That's igotfloored.com.
Hey, Columbo here for Rockwood Charcoal. Rockwood is made from 100% pure Missouri oak and hickory, so you're cooking with the best and supporting local industry and a local business all at once. There's over 100 area Rockwood retailers. Find yours at rockwoodcharcoal.com. This is Tony Columbo, and my favorite Capriati sandwich is the cheesesteak made with American Wagyu beef from Snake River Farms, and you have to include a side of their amazing fries. I love Capriati's, and you will too.
Open 9 to 9 daily on Manchester at McKnight in Rock Hill.
It's that time of year. Pumpkin spice in the air, flannel everywhere, and Hallmark movies playing nonstop. All that's missing? A mattress that feels like a warm hug. Black Friday sales are on at Snooze. Save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic Smart Base sets or melt into $600 off a Beautyrest Black. We'll match it to your perfect bed with real Mayo Clinic pressure mapping because your sleep deserves a love story too. Locally owned, comfort obsessed. Come find your happily ever after in mattress form. If you don't snooze, you lose.
Whoosh.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Forget about it.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's
House
News
Show.
Talk STL.
Nurse Jackie and Zoe, I think her name was, or Chloe, dancing to this song on the sidewalk outside the hospital at the end of an episode. And they just were here. They were at Off-Broadway.
Tune Yards?
Tune Yards, yeah. Pretty cool. All right. Stop it, Ken. Stop screwing around. Let's go. All right, Facebook. You get to go first today because I said so. Good morning, Freedom Fighting Vic Heads. Thank you, Allison. Good morning, gents and fellow Vic Heads. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Stay safe and warm. That is Scotty Downey, our resident favorite Navy chief. Barbara says, GMFFBH, senators in Congress, get off your ass and do your job. Listen to Barbara throwing out the cuss words.
Yeah.
I love it.
They're fed up. And I owe him one, Vic.
Thank you, Navy Chief.
Thank you, Navy Chief. Pass President Trump's bills, confirm his nominees, and work for America instead of working about getting reelected.
You can go, Barbara. I'll stay away from that.
Tom says, good morning, freedom fighters. Scooter's in the box.
Hey, Scooter.
Definitely hope. See, there's a big difference between Droopy Dog and Truman Capote.
Right.
Droopy Dog is down here, a little bit like this. But Truman Capote is a little higher. Definitely hoping Congress follows President Trump's instructions on extending ACA funding until 2028. Thank you, Scooter. Good morning, fam bam. It's freezing outside. Be safe. I hate the weather. Hey, Grant, my buddy Grant.
It's good to see you.
Hey, Grant, it's good to see you. I love that kid so much. Play it again. I love that kid.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Good to see you, little grasser. I pushed the like button once again. Didn't go blind or anything. That's a different kind of thing, Grant. The other thing makes you
go blind.
Go blind. Janice says, I survived too, Grant. I pushed the like button. I'm fine. Wow. Whoosh, my friends. It's a new day. And DJT is our president. And now I see how flamboyant you are.
You're starting to sound like Christopher Walken.
I'm getting there.
Whoosh.
And there's absolutely no reason for them not to do that here. Exactly. It's great to see each of you. That's Ken's. I am on a not reading Ken moratorium.
Hi. Good night, everybody.
Coyotes first. Seriously, I'm first again. 2 days in a row.
Look at you.
For the Coyote. Go.
You're mocking me, aren't you?
Ooh, Cinderfer. Good morning, Vic Heads. Congrats on number.
Hey, how you doing?
Congrats on number one, Coyote. Yo, Vic, baby. Hey.
Vic. Yo, Vic.
How you doing? I had to pause the show yesterday. The grandbabies wanted a video chat. That's not coming from me, coming from Grandma Cinderfer.
That's awesome.
Good morning, all freedom fighting patriot Vic Heads.
Wait a minute, the grand monsters.
That's what she said. I'm not ad-libbing here at all. Just reading the script.
I love it.
And to answer your question, I am a woman. Thanks for the extra. How you doing?
How you doing?
All right, Cinderfer. Yes, I'm very clear on reality. Thanks. Oh, Barry said, congrats, Cinderfer. At least you know what a woman is.
Definitely not a Democrat.
No way. Whoosh, Ken, Vic, and
Whoosh.
my fellow Vic heads. Now, why would you put Ken in front there?
Whoosh.
And then say, and the fellow Vic heads? Wouldn't it be Vic?
Whoosh.
Ken. Oh my God, I'm gonna kill you. I swear to God. Would it kill you to hit the like button? Would it kill you?
Well, I'll be.
Careful, Coyote. You're stepping on Ed Stoit's lines. Oh, what did he say? This would be great if we have like a wrestling tournament between chat boxers. Yeah, you know what? I haven't mentioned this, and I should, I guess. The CIA also involved in RFK's assassination.
Yeah.
Not just JFK. And RFK Jr. has said both of those things he believes are true.
And what's amazing is over all these decades, they've gotten away with it.
This is a guy's, his dad was murdered.
Yes.
His uncle was murdered.
Right.
You don't think he's a little closer to the situation?
Little bit.
Than Vincent Bugliosi or
Right.
anybody else? Because Bugliosi believes it was a lone shooter, too.
Who?
Vincent Bugliosi. He wrote Helter Skelter.
Oh, okay.
About Charles
I
Manson.
thought you said Pelosi.
Shut up.
No, I'm just saying. I thought that's what he said.
Shut up.
All right.
I'm giving you a chance. I'm giving you room for the other one.
Just really?
Not there. It's okay.
Shut your face.
I was waiting for it. I'm giving you the. I knew you were a woman. Not me.
No.
Cinderfer.
Oh, okay.
I'm a fifth of 101. Thank you. If someone has a court-approved death sentence, then why are they rarely put to death? I'm assuming this is a comment about Nidal Hassan, who we talked about yesterday.
Yeah, see, that's what I don't understand. If you have an approved death penalty case,
let's go.
And the death penalty is in play, especially, you know what? Okay, I can see there's controversy when there's a death that you're not quite sure about. Because I tell you what, the worst crime would be someone innocent getting the death penalty. Okay, let's face it, that is the worst crime.
And with DNA,
but with Hassan, he murdered 13 service people and a child, apparently.
And says the evidence will clearly show that I am the shooter.
Yeah.
So he was trying to get off on a,
insanity plea.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Because he is a psychologist, made it all the way to major in the U.S. Army,
which
and
is
then
amazing.
Shot up the place. It is amazing. I mean, you had to look at him and hear him and the things he says, or sometimes, Ken, just the poker facial expressions have to say something. Maybe we need more poker players in the military.
Well, you know what? I promise you this, is that if Kamala Harris was president today, she'd be saying, no, that beard that you want, all of you Islamists that are military people, you can all have them. Could you imagine that one?
You know what? You can't even play on the New York Yankees and have a beard.
No, right.
So if you're going to get in the U.S. military, you better shave that.
Don't you cuss on this here radio.
When Ed is away, the chat boxers will play. You sure don't hear the media talking about Biden or Clinton's failing health. No, he was great.
That's
Sharp
why
attack.
it's all deflection.
We have
That's
to run.
all it is.
We have to run to keep up with Joe.
Well, I mean, seriously, though, what do you think about that? What would you do if you had nothing? You had nothing for the opponent, which is the Democrats. They have nothing to combat Trump. So what do they have to do? They have to come up with something. Well, okay, he's old.
You know what? It's like a copycat strategy. You know, we said Joe's failing, and he was. So they have to say Trump is failing.
That's how little they have there.
We say illegal immigration. They say illegal orders from the president.
Right.
They can't even come up with their own creative stuff.
Did you ever see their memes? They're horrible. The left has the worst memes in history. I think the meme war was lost a long time ago by them.
Can we do a break on that?
We should.
You know, just find some memes, shoot them to me. You have to print them. Just shoot them to me.
That are stupid.
And yeah.
Y'all fired.
Oh, no.
I know.
Waltz is a communist. He lived in China. Well, I'll be.
I believe he was funded by Chinese. I really do. By the CCP.
Nick Freitas is great. We talked about him I heard it on the X.
Yes.
I follow him. I've been following him for a while. Vic Waltz.
Because he's a mensch.
Yeah. Vic Waltz put tampons in boys' bathrooms. That speaks for itself.
It does.
I still I don't understand why. If you cut your knee, do you soak it up with the tampon? What? If a kid punches you in the face and your lips bleeding, do you put the tampon in your mouth?
Think what Democrats were saying at that time. They were saying that men menstruate.
Oh,
they
that's
were
right.
saying that. They were actually believing that.
Well, if women menstruate, why don't men womenstrate?
I don't know.
If women go through menopause, why don't men go through womenopause?
Why isn't there a woman hole instead of a man hole?
Well, I thought you were going somewhere else on that.
Nope.
So thank you for cleaning that up very quickly. You've been smoking unicorn again, haven't you? Barely, Barry. Barry says the CCP, just like the history books, do not tell the real story of Thanksgiving. Listen to Rush Limbaugh tell the story. It was the first failed attempt at socialism.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Rush. That teacher should be fired, not suspended. So wasn't even a teacher. It was a TA, which is like an assistant kind of thing,
to
a professor at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
That failed the girl who talked about her religion and her faith and got a 0 on her test.
Yeah.
Agreed. 101 straight up. This is why no money can fix education with teachers like this.
Correct!
Vic. Paul Spool says, sexy hoodie, my brother Vic. Whoosh.
That's the only reason why you wear that, right? So you can hear someone say, sexy hoodie.
Me and the
Vic.
word sexy in the same sentence. You bet.
Yeah.
This is this year's. The orange one that I like to wear is the last year's. This is this year's Smoking for Ambets, which has our logo on the back as one of the sponsors.
Okay, well, I
think
should
is
break
fun.
mine out then.
Yes, you should, Ken. It's winter.
It
You
is.
have a T-shirt on. You're going to catch your death of cold.
Say it with me. Sí, se puede.
Oh, and then Paul also says LBJ killed JFK. I threw that in at the end. Vic made it in with snow on the ground. I'm so proud. I sense a little cynicism there. Scobro. Is that the Scotty brothers?
Maybe. Sounds like it could very well be.
But is it the Scotty brothers or is it Scotty brothers?
No, it's Scotty Brothers.
They're not brothers?
No, it's a he.
There's only one?
Yeah. He made it very clear to me a couple of years ago.
Oh,
I think.
did he? Was he mad?
No.
Oh, okay.
I said the brothers. I think because you and I were on the air going, well, I think you're brothers. I think there's some
It
brothers.
says Scotty brothers.
Well, that's his last name's Brothers.
Oh, for God's sakes. Will they AI research have transparency? Well, I guess will the AI research have transparency? That's the part that I'm not quite sure about, Ken. And I don't hate AI. I'm all for making things better and life better, but it's got to make things better. And you have to add in the bad guy factor. And if you have any kind of AI encouraging a kid to take his own life, your AI experiment is a great big failure.
What were you?
Watch out. Watch out if there's a computer named 666. AI is artificially thinking. Great. They're not really thinking. Okay. They're all based on algorithms. Don says they're all based
sure.
on. AI has
Of
no
course.
heart or soul.
Exactly right.
Venezuela is right next to Colombia, another narco country. And then what do you guys have against Dr. Tobler? I mean, honestly, you have to be able to think, okay. That's not my understanding. What about the fat drug? Oh, we talked about that. The fat drug is supposed to be it should be for anybody who's overweight, right? We want to make America healthy again.
Yes.
Let everybody take the fat pill, the fat drug, the fat shot, so they're not fat like me.
Well, in combination with eating better and exercise. I mean,
see, why do you got to blow it?
Because if you do that, you're going to have more people just using their shot, eating like whatever they want, and then using their shot again. And it's just that's a vicious circle that I don't want to even mess with.
I'll give it a shot. I'll mess with it. I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America. No fair elections.
No peace.
No fair tariffs.
No peace.
President reining in those big pharma thieves. Donald John Grover Cleveland Trump.
You got that right.
Good morning, all you beautiful
Tariffs, baby.
What?
Tariffs.
Good morning, all you beautiful mega ultra patriotic, deplorable, garbagian, degenerate, freedom fighting, God fearing, Vic head weirdos. Whoosh. Say whoosh. Union business manager reminder. Would it hurt you to hit the like button?
Would it kill you?
Would it kill you? You'd still be walking, talking. Grant can still see. He hasn't gone blind.
No, he's a dreamer.
Grant might be hitting his own button. That's why.
Oh,
he's worried about going blind. Did you get that? What am I?
A little late.
It's so hard to get.
I'm a little slow.
It's a laugh in this room.
A little slow.
People that are not on Medicare and want to lose weight should go on a diet.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Read the fine print on those diabetic drugs for weight loss. They all say you will have to eat less and exercise. Did you tell him to say that?
No.
I don't believe you.
No, I didn't.
Skipping right by that. Preaching to us about health insurance from someone who doesn't take insurance. It doesn't like insurance. I'm so proud of Deanna Adams. She is awesome. She
is awesome.
What's up, Vic, baby? Oh, that's from Ed's story. Rolling on the floor. Help me here. ROFLMBO. What's the MBO? How's it going, Ken Thunderstealer?
Ken Thunderstealer.
Vacation out of town, phone equals radio equals podcast player equals not missing the Vic Porcelli Show. And the GOAT, Ken Williams.
Oh, thank you.
Did you get that equation? Phone equals radio equals podcast player equals not missing the Vic Porcelli Show with the GOAT, Ken Williams.
Thank you.
Okay. Ed Stoyd, enjoy, says Allison. This is why the Washington Guards called Diana the Queen. Deanna the Queen. Love her, absolute lover. When I say lover, I don't mean that.
All you mean is, just emotionally, it's she's nice.
Yes, she's nice.
We love her.
Very,
very, very honorably, very respectful.
Honorably and respectful.
Very respectful.
Yes. Oh my God, he's going to kill me. He's going to walk in here.
That hole you keep digging, now you're dragging me down the hole.
Gun in my mouth and pull the trigger.
You must have got manure for your brain.
Yes, that too. 43 mosques in 24 months in Texas.
Yeah, I meant 2 months. I said every 2 weeks. Every 2 months they were estimating.
43 mosques in 24 months.
Yeah.
What in the hell? I'm telling you, civil war is going to be Islam against the rest of us. So guess what? That means liberals and conservatives and blacks and whites and Jews and Catholics and Christians all have to fight together against Islam.
Of course.
It's going to be a bloodbath.
Well, but we have Congress people still. The America is still free. There are things we can do to avoid this now, but we've got to do it.
Well, you know what? Then we'll send them as the sacrificial lambs. You guys go first.
Here's an example of what we need to do. It's going to take a little time to reverse this, but you've got Poland and Hungary who's saying no. Japan is saying no to these people coming in and taking over the country. We just got to say no.
Right.
And
stop yelling
later.
at me. Ed Stoyd says offense, not defense. Stop this invasion now.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Your two buddies on the radio said that first.
Whoosh.
Ed says, Vic Porcelli, a really big shoe. He said Ed Sullivan reference intended. With Ken Williams, everybody. Ken Williams. Come on, cheer it for Ken Williams. Good enough.
Man, it sure is hot out there.
Best news and entertainment show all the way from England. Sorry.
Pretty good.
So LM, the thing I was doing, MBO, laughing my butt off. Rolling on the floor, laughing my butt off. Alternatively, LA, LM, AO, laughing my ass off.
RMFA. Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So,
yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, my goodness. Look at that. Hey, we got everybody's in, though.
Thank you, everybody, for listening, and thanks for being there.
Appreciate you guys more than anything. Thanks so much. Congratulations again to Deanna Adams. She's the best. Thank you so much for having the record player on at night. Listen to us this morning.
Make sure you have the record player on at night.
And the 3 Martini Lunch
award-winning show.
The one and only award-winning.
Whoosh.
Jamie Allman.
Bye, everybody.
Join the Constitutional Coalition and the Heritage Foundation on Wednesday, December 3rd for Foundations of Freedom, honoring the past, securing the future. Constitutional scholars John Malcolm and Brenda Hefera highlight a panel discussion reflecting on the vision of America's founding fathers and the enduring significance of the Constitution. That's Foundations of Freedom, Wednesday, December 3rd at the Frontenac Hilton. Reception begins at 5:30 p.m. with discussion at 6:30 p.m. RSVP at constitutionalcoalition.org. Paid for by the Heritage Foundation.
Is diabetes keeping you from enjoying life's special moments? At US Med, we understand the challenges you face, and we're here to help.
With US Med, I can finally manage my diabetes without it managing me.
US Med offers a wide range of services to simplify your diabetes care. Personalized care plans, convenient access to cutting-edge diabetes tech, and knowledgeable support. Plus, we'll check your insurance so your diabetes care may be covered at little or no cost to you.
With US Med, I feel confident and control of my diabetes. I can finally live my life to the fullest.
Don't let diabetes hold you back. Choose US Med and experience better birthdays, better adventures, better anniversaries, and better everything. Call now. US Med. Better service, better care. 800-515-2380. 800-515-2380. 800-515-2380. That's 800-515-2380.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
I'm Bob